Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you here. This weekend was super quiet. I did nothing for 2 days, 2 whole days. I sat home and did nothing.
Excellent.
Yes. You know how rare that is for me? I mean, when's the last time I had
Excellent.
that? It's months ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So what did
Very
you
happy.
do with your nothing?
Nothing.
Didn't play no games or nothing?
I did. I played me some Sims and yeah, but mostly I did nothing. My wife read a book. Which I read every day, but that's kind of like work.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of vegged, man. It was nice and quiet. I didn't go outside at all. I stayed inside for 48 hours, didn't go anywhere near the sun. hmm hmm It was great. My wife went in and out and running around doing her jazzercise and all her other things that she does because she doesn't stop moving. But me, I stayed right here in this living room or the bedroom, one or the other. It was quiet. It's very nice.
Excellent.
Very, very nice. Although the summer is breaking here, so that's good.
Yeah, it
But
is here too. It was really nice today.
but it'll take another month before it starts actually cooling. That's the thing that sucks about here. September's hot.
Yeah, it usually is here too.
Yeah, where I grew up, September's definitely cooling. But then again, I live in the Arctic. But yeah, yeah. What did you do this weekend?
Oh, let's see. What did I do yesterday? I don't remember what I did yesterday. Chester must have been an eventful day. Today though, since it was super nice out, like low 70s, just the right amount of sun, we went for a nice long walk. They did a whole bunch of yard work. And Chester, I don't know if you know this about me, but I would rather do a lot of things than yard work. I hate it.
All
I
right.
absolutely despise it, but it has to be done. So it got done. My back was crazy long. My backyard, it's all privacy fenced in, so no one could tell, but it was crazy long because every time I got a minute to try and go mow it, it was raining. We've had a
Oh,
super wet August. I don't know why, just super wet. And it's just a little push mower, so I definitely can't do it even when it's wet out there, even do like if it's just a little wet. So I have to wait till it's really dry. And yeah, so I got that back nice and mowed. The wife weed eated the garden out and got all the weeds out, and it was a good time. Otherwise, I mean, at least it was really nice out, and that's a big boon, you know, because you never know around here. Sometimes it'll be one day you'll have nice 70-degree weather, the next day you'll have 90 or 100. It just is what it is. But the one thing that it does do to me, and I asked my doctor one time what I should do about it, and he said I should move to Arizona, is because it'll fluctuate like that, my sinuses just go absolutely ape shit. They don't know what to do with themselves. They're all over the place. So last night, trying to sleep, I had this nasty, gnarly sinus headache with so much pressure in my face that when I would like lay one way or the other, say I was laying on my right side, the right side of my mouth would just go numb from all the pressure. Like when you have like a fat lip and you get that like tenderness
yeah,
type feeling.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. So I couldn't take that anymore. I got up at like 4 in the morning, took a ridiculously hot shower for like a half hour, let all that steam get up in there and relieve that, and then took a whole bunch of pills and shot my nose up with some of the good stuff, and it finally calmed down enough where I could sleep. I woke up and I was still a little, like if you get a nasty sinus infection, anybody who's ever had one, it can take a couple days to fully feel normal after, right? Once you get all that swelling and it's right there in your head, so you're just kind of like, ooh. And so I've been a little bit like, how do you describe it? Almost not fogged in the brain, but like, when you've got like stuffy nose and everything just kind of is like sensory
Miasma.
deprivation. Yeah, there's the word. So I've been a little bit of that, but not too bad because it was so freaking nice outside. The sun was beautiful. I love the sun. The sun loves me. I love the sun. My wife's the opposite. She hates the sun. Um, And it was just a really nice day, and we got a lot accomplished, which needed to get accomplished. And I always like those kind of days. I like the days where I do nothing more, right? Because obviously, but I hate the worst feeling in the world is to spend a whole day busy and get nothing accomplished. Right? You're out running, doing this and that, and it just feels like you're doing nothing. Nothing's getting accomplished. That to me is the worst feeling in the world. That sense of what's the word I'm looking for? That sense of not hopelessness, but just like inevitable demise, I guess. Like it just doesn't happen. Uh, Futility. There's the word I'm looking for. That sense of futility. Like everything I just did
Good
was
word.
futile, big waste of time. Uh, and that feeling drives me nuts. So I'd much rather have, for me, I either want a dead weekend, right, where I can do nothing, just hang out, play video games, sleep with the wife, whatever, right? Just have a nothing weekend, or a weekend where I'm busy but I'm getting things done, right? Things are getting accomplished. I don't like this because sometimes you'll have weekends, right? For whatever reason, you're trying to get this project done. It just doesn't happen. You're trying to get this done. Then you got to go over here for this social bullshit. And then you got to do that. And it's just, bleh. There's no rest. It's just annoying because nothing is actually getting accomplished, or you're actually doing things that don't matter, that you don't even want to do, but you have to for various familial reasons or whatever. Uh, yeah, anyway, I had a really nice both weekend because Saturday I basically had one of those nothing kind of days, and then today got all kinds of stuff accomplished. So that's
Yeah,
good.
it is good. Yeah, I actually don't mind. I like yard work, outside work.
I
That
like
doesn't
working
bother me.
outside. I don't like cutting grass. I never have. Even when I was little, when I was like 8 or 9, and I would do the trimming with our push mower and my big because my parents had a big house, big yard, and we had a fence, big fence. So I would trim the put with the push mower around the sides of the fence, right? Uh, so my father could do the with the big mower and just not worry about getting close to the fence. And I always just hated it. I've always, for whatever reason, I just it's not even when I worked it. I did lawn care for like 2 years. I hated it. I hated every second of it. I don't know why. Just one of those things. I just don't like it.
I was just posting on Twitter here and scrolled a little bit while you were talking,
Yeah,
and which I don't really do because it's stupid. But dude, you know how people will post things on stuff that they clearly have never experienced and have no clue about whatsoever, even though they're
that's
posting
right.
on it?
Hmm.
Why are there so many girls posting sex stuff when it's very clear from the post that they've never had sex?
Well, or of any kind of that, is good. That's for sure.
Well, dude, it's
Uh,
flooded. It's freaking flooded. On my Twitter, I don't use it, right? The only time I use it is
yep.
on the Thursday show. And what I have typed into Twitter is a total of puppies and cute. That's it,
Right.
right? And yet it's absolutely flooded with pornography.
Yep.
How?
You'd have
I
to
mean,
ask
it's supposed to
Elon.
be based on my algorithm. The guys tell me, make sure you like that one, put a heart that one so those will pop up more. It was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yep.
So I do that. It's still just porn everywhere.
Endless porn. Yeah, it's a shame. That's what happens when you have a gooner in chief at the helm of Twitter. There, he's a bit of a gooner. Uh,
Gooner, explain this word.
a person who likes to masturbate.
Um,
Uh,
how did goon become
I don't know.
masturbate?
I'm
How'd
not
that
even.
happen?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the internet. I do not know. But no, it's for whatever reason. I mean, people have asked him, and he's never really answered it. Why? Like, because people said, why don't we just ban the porn on here? Just get it out of here. It doesn't add any benefit to the site. But he just has no interest in it. So, all right, something free speech, I'm sure, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just wish it was easier to control. Because if there's a button for it, I click it and get rid of it, right? But if
Right.
those who want it, that's fine. I'm not a prude. I'm not against people doing what they want to do, but I mean, for me, I mean, what's the? I don't use it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just, damn. Okay, it comes from an a English football, soccer.
Uh,
Okay, sure. Which is odd because that is very odd because goon, of course, the root of that is, excuse me, uh, is meaning a thuggish thing, and that's from like 16th century. It means simpleton, a stupid person, right?
mm,
But it
mhm.
also can be in America. We coined it to more mean hired thug. I mean, a no-brained just muscle for some criminal, idea,
Right.
enterprise, right? But that's what goon means in its etymology. So I have no idea how you would take this simple hired thug or stupid hired thug and apply that in some way to, mm, self-pleasuring. It doesn't make any sense at all. But then again, I found out a long time ago the world does not indeed make sense.
It's
So
true.
there's that. But okay, so I didn't know that about Elon, but then again, there's probably tons of things I don't know about Elon. Um, I do know that his ambitious ambition is real, and he's one of the few billionaires that puts his money where his mouth is. And he gets at it. Now, here's the question, seeing as he is technically the official out in public poster child for richest men on the planet, and I
Mhm.
know he's had a slew of women, of which he's made many, many children. I mean, he's got over a dozen, as far as I know, and
I believe 14.
14, yeah. So why would a man like this, who clearly has no trouble getting female attention because, money, Mr. Krabs
Yeah.
comes to mind, um, why would he need to masturbate?
Uh, because he's busy and doesn't always have time for women, I'd imagine. Quick little
Uh,
5 minute sesh, get it banged out, move on with his day. It's the only thing I can figure.
that's what women are for, though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of logistics with the female that you got to deal with. It. A 5 minute goon sesh or a 45-minute sesh with the girl.
Oh no, no, he's rich enough that he could simply just have a, unofficial official prostitute follow him around at all times.
That's why. I mean, if I was super rich like him and unmarried and everything, that I would. I'd have
Yeah,
a
me
couple
too.
of them, probably
I,
three or four.
yeah,
Just why not?
I'd
Why
have
not?
them on red alert buttons.
Yeah, they'll be like,
Yeah,
listen, you can buy what here. This is your card. Buy whatever you want on that card. I don't care. But when I call, you come. That's it.
yeah.
That's your only job.
I mean, it might be just my generation. I don't know, but my generation, it's masturbation is shameful.
Yeah,
Therefore, uh, we always endeavor to have female about, and I've always succeeded in that. I've had very few moments that went more than a month or so without a female around me.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just my generation doesn't look at it. These young people seem to have a very different opinion on the matter. Uh, so, but I have a wife, so solved. You know, I don't know. It's weird. Gooner. I've heard it used a few times. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it meant I had taken it to mean someone who watches prolific amounts of pornography.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because that's usually what coincides with the old masturbatory experience
Well,
nowadays.
it irritates me, and it has been irritating me for now. I've mentioned this before. It probably comes from my, long time of working in strip clubs that I just have a distaste for it. But I think because I've never actually bought a pornographic anything in my life
Mm.
ever.
Hmm.
I've never had. And but I think it stems from My daughter was, let's say, 3 or 4, right? And something like that, 3 or 4. And she's sitting on my lap in Hawaii. We're still in Hawaii at the time. And we're at the computer, and I'm kind of having an education round with her, is really what it was. But for her, she didn't know this, uh, of course. And we were
Yeah.
learning to spell words. It was probably when she was 3, I guess, because by 4 she was already spelling. But I was just doing spelling, and I was like, okay, we're searching for things, and strawberry shortcake or things like that, and it's like, oh, that's a big one. But I said, okay, what are we going to search next? And she said, lollipop. I'm like, damn right, because she liked the lollipops, and I don't blame her. And yeah, because I used to, of course, we were strict. At Junko, particularly, is very strict about it. Uh, Therefore, the only chubby person in the family is me. And
Right.
honestly, I'm not like I used to be. He used to have that football weight, right?
Hmm.
But occasionally we get a lollipop, and it was I can't remember the name of them, but the ones that had the commercial where Tootsie Pop, Tootsie Pop, that's the one.
Hmm.
Anyway, she liked her some lollipops, and cool enough. So I search in lollipop, all right. Lo and behold, what do you think pops up?
Oh, I can guess.
This is back in the Wild West days, right? This is back in the 90s, right? And there weren't the sensors or all the kind of stuff we have. I'd imagine there's a full-on war on the internet over controlling the worst of human urges. But yeah, I since then I've taken an extra strong disdain toward this stuff. Of course, that was technically illegal, but nevertheless, no, I don't like it.
Not a fan.
No, no, but I am kind of old fashioned. So
Yeah, it's funny because um, I know a lot of like apparently like Trump's never looked at it, right? He said before in interviews he doesn't engage in such things. He doesn't even masturbate or anything, according to him, because and he said, and I quote, "That's what women are for." Uh,
well, he and I agree on something.
yeah, and it's just interesting that because it seems like as porn has become more prolific in our society, I think it's that stigma's largely drifted away. But I'll say this: in the last few years, especially, the women have been trying real hard to put it back on men. Right? Say things. I don't want anybody who watches porn and blah 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 blah. A lot of women don't really care, from my experience.
No, I
Even
would
like
say
ones I'm
women
not.
don't actually care. No, yeah,
Yeah, even ones I'm not dating or whatever. Just in general, if I've talked to them, like, no, I don't really care if he watches porn. Uh, a lot of them will say because then he's leaving me alone. But that is what it is. Um, but no, it's funny because in especially over here, there's this double standard, I guess we'll call it, this hypocrisy that everybody knows exists, but we're not allowed to really talk about. Women can do all the pornographic stuff that they like, even
sure.
make it, and you're not supposed to comment on it or have a negative opinion
Well,
about
go
it.
to hell. Most certainly we can.
Uh, uh, to the point where the number one books that sell are romance. You hear the air quotes? Do you hear them?
I heard them
Romance
all day.
novels,
They're
and they're
wafted
really
past me.
just what we call clit lit, and it's literally just porn. It's just porn for females typically.
That's
Um,
interesting. My
it's
wife usually reads historical things. Hmm.
Yes, but your wife is a good girl. You see, Chester. You married a good girl,
I
and she's
did, and
Japanese. I don't
she's
know
still
how big the
very
clit lit is
innocent.
over there.
She still covers her eyes if the brief semi-sex scene comes on, because I'm careful about what I show her, right?
That's the most adorable thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I laugh at her. It's like, we've done worse.
Yeah. Probably many times
Yeah.
over the 30 years you've been
But
married.
it somehow separates in her brain. I'm like, all right, yeah, no, we've been 30 years, so plenty of stuff, for sure.
Right.
Because
But
we're still happy, we're still, hugging and kissing every day, right? Still,
yeah,
after all that
yeah.
time.
No,
So,
I do with my wife too. Even if we have like it's rare, but even if we have moments where we're not vibing for whatever reason, I always try to make sure we keep that because it's important, right?
sure.
It's if you don't have like there's a lot of guys out here who are in these so-called marriages, a lot of them, where their wives won't let them touch them at all, won't hug them, won't give them a kiss, or if it is, it's just a little, on the cheek, basically like a brother. It's not, it's not even remotely intimate, remotely sexual, nothing. And I'm like, no. If
Uh-uh.
for whatever reason my wife decided that that's how she wanted to behave, well, then she wouldn't be my wife anymore.
That's
I mean,
true.
it's just, what are we doing? What
Yeah.
are we even doing here? Um,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't need
I
a roommate.
understand
That's
that
yeah,
I was just dumping on pornography, but I am myself in my own life can be as pornographic as I like. Damn right.
yeah. But my point I was getting at is we have this double standard where the women can do all that. The women can have a multi-billion-dollar industry in dildos and vibrators and have these outrageous machines that just do things that I'm not going to describe on YouTube to these female bodies that no human man could ever compete with. Not it's physically impossible. They can do all that. But if a man says he wants to watch a little bit of porn or he wants a sex bot, right? All of a sudden it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And they'll sit out here and for all the time you can find them on Twitter, you can find them all over all the time, shaming men, shaming men, shaming men. The male gaze and watching porn and whatever the fuck. And it's like, bitch, I bet if I look in your house, I can find more pornography than on most men's computers right now.
Really? Now
It might
that
not
is
be
a
visual
phenomenon I've
pornography.
heard of late, and I never knew
Yeah,
never knew that. Of course, it could have always been true, and I just didn't know. I
no, they're
am.
very good at
It's
hiding.
weird. For all that I know, I can be incredibly ignorant.
Yeah, women are very good at hiding it, Chester. You know this. You know
It's
women can
true.
have multiple guys they're seeing and screwing at once, and sometimes in the same day. And the guy would never know unless she was real dirty. You know what I mean? Like you'd never know.
Sure.
Um, Women do that, especially you know decent to very attractive women can get away with it. Uh, Now imagine that, but it's completely in anonymity in their own home. They can hide it if they want to. It's just endless. Like
Like,
there's a reason why these books sell outrageous amounts of copies. There's a reason why the dildo industry, the sex toy industry, is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it isn't the men doing it because there's very few male sex toys, which is
are
starting
there
to
any?
change because yeah, there are. I mean, there's obviously the old infamous pocket pussy, right? That's been around forever. But there's other stuff too. Like you can buy little like models, right? They're basically like sex dolls, but they're really high quality and their skin feels like skin and that whole
Oh yeah,
deal.
we talked about
Uh,
that before. And if they get
yeah.
that going, boy, watch out.
Oh, they're already
I've
got
heard
it,
people
bro.
use
They're
it.
close.
I thought it was a euphemism. I'm searching it. Pocket pussy. I'm going to see what that is.
No, it's a real thing. No, they're getting close. The sex bots are coming. I've been saying about 2030 you're going to start to see them on the market, like actual AI integrated sexual machines for men
Wow, they're
and
very
women.
fancy thingies. It
Yeah.
looks like a Cuisinart. Why would you put your dick in a Cuisinart?
Listen, I don't know. I've never used one. I have no desire to use one. I have a wife, and if I didn't have a wife, I'm sure I could find another woman. Um, that's
Yeah,
another thing that
no, that's what
a
they're
lot of
for.
guys get in this mindset, and I guess I've never done it, of one and done. Meaning, she's the one, that's it, it's over. I'll never, and that's it. And it's like, bro, if you can get one, you can get another one. You
Oh
probably
yeah,
get many if you'd
very
like.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard. You just, it's really not. All you really have to do is be the most competent in the room that she's in.
Yeah.
And that's
You,
it. You
screw
don't have to
next
be
to it
best
real
looking.
quiet.
You don't have to be the biggest. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be none of that. Just the most competent. Now, what that room can change what that means, But if you're that guy in that room, you
Yeah.
can get female attention. I know this for literal human fact because I did off of World of Warcraft all the time from women because I was always guild leader and whatever. And it's just the tiniest little bit of clout, and women are all over you. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
know.
why,
I
Kevin.
know. I'm shaking pussy off me all the damn time, dude, and I'm an old
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah,
very crazy.
it is. But, I have one last little anecdote, and then we'll move on to another subject because you're making Grimlock uncomfortable. Um, we were at one of those little novelty stores, like,
Uncomfortable.
Spencer's or something like
Sir,
that. And
I beg your pardon.
yeah, I'm sorry, Grimlock. Sorry, I apologize. It's all Thundero's fault. Um,
Yeah.
they had we were just walking through, just killing time, really. And there was a section there. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but I guess it was on, these kind of things we're talking about. And they had one thing there, and she actually asked what it was. And to be honest, I didn't know what it was, so I picked it up and I read it and read it together, and she literally covered her mouth. So in shock.
In shock.
Yeah, it was.
Aghast.
It was. Gee, I don't know. It was a combination of a dildo and a vibrator together in one
Hmm.
object.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Pretty
and
common,
before
yeah.
that, I didn't know. I thought they were separate because the last time I saw one of those things was in a strip club, and it was like a little, it was like a coin thing with a wire coming out of it to a little battery pack. So I didn't know that they had evolved like that. I guess I should have imagined they did. And of course, the dildo was just plastic. So,
Yeah.
or, so yeah, yeah. There you go. Anecdote.
They have no
Anything you want to
shame.
add to this conversation, Grimlock? We'll wait.
Do-do-do.
Um, you surprised that women's degeneracy is almost kind of wholesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was
Yeah,
using my wife as an example of not that. But
yes.
Sarah was
Well,
telling me
see,
that women these days watch more pornography than men do, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah, and well, see, you two as a couple are affectionate and not degenerate. You
that's
know,
true,
it, there's nothing wrong with kissing the wife, copping a field. You're married,
dude." She touches my ass all the damn time. I'm abused. I'm abused.
liar.
I am not. I am not lying.
He is not
She's
abused.
way more touchy than I am, dude. Way more.
She
Well,
owns it. She's allowed.
She's allowed.
she has to. She has to constantly mark her territory since there's a horde of older women over there
There are,
trying,
there are, dude.
trying to find the
It's an
sex
absolute
monster
horde.
known as Shepard.
But she says, she always, I was like, what the hell, woman? And she's like, well, it's round and cute. Fine.
Hey, look, a woman complimenting a man's ass is pretty high because it usually doesn't happen.
Well, I push on a rock daily.
Well, gotta do it.
We'll do it.
And
Isometrics, boys. If you want some tone in your body, isometrics.
and Sundaro is right about the women's porn because I know women who watch porn and all of the shit that they watch is way more disgusting than what I'd watch.
That's interesting. See,
I'm I'm
I don't
I'm
have any kind of affiliation to understand that.
I'm,
I mean, I
I'm considered
always,
a prude by their standards.
well, I've always separated the stripper from the woman because of my experience.
Yeah,
I figured they were separate, but what you guys are telling me, no, they're the same.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, alrighty. I learn something every day, Alan. Sometimes I'm not interested, although he did make a joke. You know why blondes hate vibrators? It chips their teeth. I kind of get the joke, but I don't really get the joke. Someone explain it to me.
I
Because
think he's
they're
making a dumb
stupid?
blonde joke. Yeah.
Oh,
That doesn't belong to it.
yeah, but why would you put a vibrator in your mouth though? I don't.
Because she's a
Because
dumb
it's good.
blonde.
Yeah,
She
that's
thinks
it.
it's
That's
a
the end, the breadth and the width.
lifesaver. Alrighty. Do they make those anymore? Lifesavers?
Oh yeah,
I
hundred
remember
percent.
those were a thing in the 70s. Everybody had a pack in their pocket. I didn't.
I'm a big
I
fan of the
carried a
Yeah,
cherry
Hubba Bubba.
myself.
they still make that too.
Really? I had that and
Yeah,
Bazooka Joe. I like Bazooka Joe because it had little, you take the wrapper off and there was like a little comic or a little something
yeah.
there or another.
I don't know if they still make the comics, but I know Bazooka still exists as well.
Yeah, Bazooka Joe, man.
I used to be able to get that shit for 5 cents.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well, because I would do little odd jobs when I was a kid, and I saved it for stuff because I am myself. But I would indulge myself on bottle rockets for the bottle rocket wars, of course, and some bubble gum.
Yeah,
Although I did have, I think, mostly Hubba Bubba.
yeah. I still see that at the gas station.
Interesting. They don't really have that over here. They do, but it's the chiclet is what they don't call it that, but it's basically the chiclet. Do they still
Yeah,
make those?
yep.
Yep. Yeah, but Bazooka Joe bubblegum wasn't the greatest. Although it might be the reason why I have such good, strong teeth. I don't have a single cavity. You know that?
Hmm. Lucky man.
I guess. I mean, it's a little bit of the Scandinavian because we're not known for our teeth troubles. But and of course I do brush my teeth every day, but I brush my teeth once a day. My wife,
Yeah.
she brushes her teeth like 3 times a day, and she's had nothing but teeth troubles.
Probably why.
Maybe, but that's what they taught them here in Japan, right? So,
My sister was literally told by her dentist that she was over brushing. She was
yeah,
literally brushing them so much, and she was just doing it basically like that 2 or 3 times a day,
taking the
that it was
plaque.
weakening the enamel, taking
Oh
that
yeah,
enamel right off.
the enamel. Okay, yeah, interesting. But
Whereas I abused the hell out of my teeth for years, did whatever I wanted to with them, brushed them when I felt like it, and they're fine.
well,
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just genetics when it comes to teeth. I
Just pulling,
genuinely do.
I think so too.
just pulling 3 pounds from his teeth.
Uh, but there is another point to it that we have to take into account. But for me, it's completely gross. But humans, as with all the other animals, traditionally would not have brushed their teeth. You know,
Right.
that's not a naturally occurring item in the wild. Oh, I found a toothbrush tree today, darling. So technically, your teeth are designed to not be brushed at all. But then again, we also weren't eating sugar products either.
Yeah, it's the sugar.
Yeah,
Um, Aside from weird genetics where you just have bad teeth, which some people just do. I think I don't even think I know the vast majority of teeth decay is caused by all the sugar and everything.
sure.
We
And
really
I've
should,
never
in
had a
all
sweet tooth.
honesty, sugar should be massively regulated. It's worse for you than tobacco. It's worse for you than most drugs. Like excess sugar is horrendous for the human body.
Yeah,
It literally kills you.
Bobby's working on it.
He should. He should. Especially now, we have so many alternatives for sugar that aren't bad for you at all. Not aspartame, other stuff too that works just fine. And in all honesty, if you really want the best, just get honey. That's what we
Well,
should have been
honey's really
using,
good
but
for you.
honey's
Real
harder to
honey too. Don't
extract.
get that fake shit. Get real honey.
No, yeah, get real
Spend a
honey.
little extra money on it.
You just need a little bit of it because it's so strong, right? You don't got to go crazy with it. Just a little bit of it, and put it on some
Yeah.
toast. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Dude,
It's a good
people
time.
skimp in the weirdest ways.
Yep.
I mean, there are certain things in life that you don't skimp on. If you want to save money on say designer items, there's a place you could save money because you could probably get a better quality thing for half the price. However,
Right.
when like we talk about honey, dude, go buy real honey. Yeah, it's more expensive, but just do it. It's like toilet paper. Do you try to skimp on toilet paper? No, of course you
Well, I
don't.
don't have to. My state is the toilet paper state, so we get
Really?
all the freshest rolls.
I
Yep.
thought that was New Jersey.
Nope. Nope. Ohio.
Yeah.
We get all the freshest rolls, so even if you buy the so-called cheap stuff, it's as good as anything else.
So
Uh,
double or triple ply.
I think it's just double because we just go see we got these big ass Sam's stores, right? The big Walmart warehouse store, and I just go there and get their brand, and it's fine. It's nice and
Yeah.
soft, no problem. My wife likes it, and she's the one who really, I mean, she's got to rub it on far more delicate places than I do, so she's the one who seems to like it.
Now, is she? I've noticed because my wife, she's the worst in the house. Out of me and the kids.
Yeah,
She just is the type that takes so much toilet paper, way more than
yeah,
she needs,
mm-hmm,
right? She's
yeah,
that type where you can hear it rolling, spinning at vapor speeds. Um,
yes,
you know, but where me, I literally take 3 squares, right?
right.
And the kids, obviously, because you don't teach them that. You teach them what toilet paper is. You don't really teach them how to use it, do you? But the kids clearly doing the same because when we flush the toilet, it always goes down. My wife, we're always having to reflush and reflush her just ridiculous amounts of paper. So, it's kind of a running
Interesting.
joke in the house. Anyway, but yeah, don't skip on shit. Go get the real honey. Don't get that fake stuff, man. It's so sad, dude. Now I'm lucky. Now I don't know about where you guys live, but just like an hour north of me, a little bit more. An hour north of me is a major honey production center,
Mm,
so I can pick up really high quality honey and all the different types of honey. By the way, some things they normally don't sell at all. I can go up there and get from the farms, and I do.
Mm.
You know. So, and honey is one of the very few foods that is eternal, by the way. You guys know that we've pulled honey out of various archaeological sites and they were still completely edible.
Nice.
I mean, thousands of years old, but
yeah,
yet
yeah. Honey lasts
completely
forever.
edible. Yeah, it's
But
unbelievable.
it's a super substance. We don't even really understand it.
No.
It's crazy what it can do. It heals wounds. It disinfects.
Yep.
It tastes amazing. It's satiating. There's even data that it helps with addiction. Like it's crazy. I don't,
Yeah.
it's literally the nectar of the gods. It does so much stuff, and for whatever reason, it like my doctor growing up not growing up, but when I was like a young adult, he would always tell me just to take honey. I get a sinus infection, take some honey all the time. Stomach don't feel right, take some honey. Take some ginger and honey. You'll be fine. Uh, he would do that all the time, and he was always right. But nowadays, unfortunately, at least over here, the doctors are not going to tell you to do that. Most of them, they're just going to try and give you some damn pills because they're just drug pushers. But it's just very interesting to me how much of just natural remedies are completely abandoned in modern American medical science. Unless you find an actual doctor who has a little bit of holistic medicine to them, they just won't even reach it. They won't even go near it. Broach it rather. They won't even go near it because it sounds like wackadoo quack stuff. I guess to them, it doesn't to me. It sounds like we're natural beings, and guess what? Nature has the answer. Oh, by the way, all those drugs that you're pumping into people, those come from plants and shit too.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? It's just herb.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just alchemy. That's all you're doing.
That
That's all
is,
you're doing.
I actually, that's interesting you mentioned that because I had a class, oh, gee, I don't know, over a year ago, but
Yeah.
at the university. And he got into his anthropology class, right? And
Right.
we were talking about ancient medicines, and it just came up in the open classroom conversation, lecture. And I just instantly posed the question to the room: Well, what do you think? Do you think medicines are better today than they were before? And everybody, all these young people, are like, oh, today, oh, it's much better. They died. They had no diseases. They had nothing. All right, all that kind of. Oh, this is all in Japanese, but same kind of. It's exactly the same as any university on the planet. And I just sat back and chuckled, as I do, and I laid it down hard on them because the simple fact of the matter is, modern medicine is not as good as it was just 100 years ago. It's not. Now, to be fair, we have created a few new synthetic things for certain things that is an actual improvement, right? We have, but
Right.
Yeah.
in general, the quality of the medicine, because you know how you go and you notice that you bought this thing before and then you buy it now and it's a millimeter thick because they tested in the laboratory to see what was the absolute minimum thickness that they could get away with. Like plastic bottles today aren't have no stiffness to them. They're like water in your hand almost, right? Because they've analyzed it down to this the thinnest they can get away with. They do the same thing with medicine, you see. Whereas back in the past, they would just give you a quantity of it that wouldn't kill you, you know, and
Mm,
therefore it was more potent, it was more pure because it wasn't distilled in anything particularly synthetic, nor
right.
were there various additives to put in to make it last forever. Whereas back in the day, medicine had a shelf life. It literally had a sell by date, right? And these
Right.
days, do you notice if your medicine has that? Oh, that's right, it doesn't. Wonder why. And I explained all this stuff. I also explained the fact that all modern medicine is no different than ancient medicine. They just distilled the essence of what was doing the thing. It's not new, it's not synthetic, it's not created like magic in a laboratory. And they were all kind of shocked by the end of it because they had this modern convenience, modern superiority complex that most people have.
Mm.
So. But then again, the way I speak, if we went back to the 19th century, they would consider me a dullard.
That's true. That I don't think there's a single person alive today that has the eloquence and what's the word I'm looking vocabulary efficiency that they
The
had back
word you
then.
want is eloquence.
Yeah, that's what I said. That has the eloquence or the vocabulary efficiency because it's like when you read that, that's how they spoke, right? They spoke to each other this way
They
more
did.
often than not, especially as you went up the strata of society. And it's a shame that the English language has been denigrated and degenerated so much because it's genuinely beautiful. I would say when it's done like they did, especially the Americans, uh, I don't know if another one's more beautiful. There's some up there, of course, but I don't. I mean, it's so beautiful. The prose is even the legal documents is like it's so eloquent and so just it has like a curvaceousness to it that is just not in modern parlance at all. Not in modern prose, none of it. It's gone. We've lost it, and it's a
Yeah,
shame.
yeah. And I do take offense to that. I dumb myself down for you bastards here. I could definitely be more eloquent. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but I don't think you could be as eloquent
no,
effortlessly as they were.
no, I of course not. I'm being facetious and sarcastic and stupid. Thank you. Anyway, let me read you an excerpt to kind of kick that home. This is this is a letter from Karl Marx's father, right? Henrik.
Yeah,
His name was Henrik Marx, right?
what a name,
To his
Henrik.
Henrik, yeah. They are German, right? German Jews. To his son. Let me just read this. First of all, a word about my letter, which may possibly have annoyed you. I don't pedantically insist on my authority, and also admit to my child if I am wrong. I did actually tell you to write only after you had had a somewhat closer look around you. However,
Mm.
since it took so long, you ought. to take my words less literally, especially as you know how anxious and worried your good mother is. Well, that is enough on that subject. And it continues on for many, many paragraphs where he lays into the bastard and says, you were not raised that way, you stupid fuck. Although I'm paraphrasing. Hmm. Um,
Yeah, no, it's
yeah, the
oh,
people
Karl Marx.
around Karl Marx thought he was literally the devil.
Yeah, he was, or
Hmm.
at least an agent of him. Nothing good has come from his ideology. That's for damn sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. A spoiled kid from a well-off family who threw a worldwide tantrum because his family had the audacity that had to ask a near 30-year-old man to get a job.
Yeah.
Totally can't see why
How,
he did that.
how dare they even do something with your life, you know? To be fair, I've read a bunch of those letters. His dad did have a couple of moments where he laid into him a little bit, but in general, he was way too soft and coddling a man, which of course he was. Let's see
Mhm.
here. Alan is praising the wonders of Cottonelle, and he
Good
said
paper,
the
man.
other brands chafe his bottom.
Yes. Hey,
See,
look.
Chester, I've evolved. One of the things I have started doing. This is completely not anybody wants to know this, but I'm gonna since we're on the subject, I've evolved. I take the toilet paper, I fold it up a little bit. My sink's right in front of my toilet, like right in front of it. I can reach it. I hit it with one little dab of water and then go, and it's so nice. Everything's nice and
Well,
clean. It's so nice. See, I don't have the fancy dancy talk to your toilet like you got.
Well, mine has a shower and a bidet. Of course, I don't need the bidet built into it. Therefore, I always have the clean bottom. And the thing is, anywhere you go in Japan, they have the same. It is universal here.
Yeah,
So when I first came here, I was very anxious and I had great trepidation in regards to spraying water on my ass. I don't know why. I do in the shower every day, but it was it was freakish to me. It was like that just seems to be unwholesome.
it's
Nevertheless,
not Christian. This.
I pressed the one day I finally broke down and pressed the button, and then I haven't looked back since because it actually cleans
Yeah.
up real nice.
You were just in heaven. You're like, oh, well,
Well, look at that.
how's your mother?
How's your mother? And but it is the way to go. I'm sorry, Grimlock, we cut you off. Go ahead, dude.
Oh no, no. I'm kind of like you guys, but I take it one step further. If I'm out and about and I'm at a business and I have to use the facilities,
Huh.
your brand of toilet paper will determine whether I continue business with
That dude, you are not
you.
wrong.
Because if you go in, if I go in there and I see that bullshit ass Scott's industrial paper, that 140 grit sandpaper y'all have the audacity to call toilet paper, I'm like, sir, I don't believe you care for the well being of your customers here, and I shan't be doing further business with you.
Yes. You need to be a little bit more hoity or toity. It would have come out better. But nevertheless, um, actually, there's a cocktail bar that we go to, and because like I said, I don't drink. I never drink at home. I only drink when I have to out in public, in some with some peoples or what have you. And the Japanese are drinkers, so it is what it is. But we're at this cocktail bar that we're frequenting, and we're joking around, but men aren't as sensitive as women are in this regard. And I was kind of listening to the women's self chatter because this is something women will do, especially here in Japan. They won't necessarily say anything to you directly. They'll just chatter amongst themselves and mention and complain to each other loud enough that you, the owner of the establishment, hears them, right? This is their tactic. And like I said, I don't even think I'd ever used the toilet at that cocktail bar before. I probably took a piss, but I never used the toilet. and but the women do because women can't stop going to the bathroom every 15, 17 minutes. You know how that is. Lack of a valve. It kind of does that. Nevertheless, I guess the toilet paper wasn't great, per Grimlock's example. And they were basically because in Japan, the men and the women separate wherever they end up. The women end up in a group, and the men end up in a group. That's how they do.
Yeah.
And the women were just chattering loud enough that we could hear them. And then it looks like the time we went back, which was probably a month and a half, 2 months later, that Junko and I went back, they had resolved the toilet paper situation.
They solved it.
They did. So women, do like this, and you say that's sneaky, but dude, it bears results.
They are the mischievous gender.
They
Just
are.
they are the chaos gender.
They are. That is true. Although one thing I do like, and I don't know if I don't think you drink at all, Thundera. You had said, but Grimlock knows a little bit about alcohol. Now I do love me an amaretto sour because I mean, if I have to drink a beer, I will do so, but I loathe it because beer
Yep.
sucks. Wine is
Yep.
worse. I hate
Yep.
when I go to rich people parties where they're serving wine. It sucks. But I will sip on that one glass all night, though. I'll tell you that. But cocktail, I enjoy. Now, amaretto sour, I do like a lot. It is, especially when it's made correctly. It's good. Yummy, yummy. However, I did find a new drink, which I know it's probably not new, but for me it is because I'm not much of a drinker, Grimlock. An Alexander. Do you know this?
Hmm. No, I can't do.
Dude, because there's this really stupidly expensive place I go to sometimes. Well, they go to sometimes, and it is stupid expensive, right? But he is legit, you know. I mean, he doesn't never look at the book, right? So he has thousands of cocktails in his head. He's legit. Um, but I so when I have to go there every couple of weeks or 3 weeks or so like that I have to go to one of these events. Um, I I just sit down and chat with the guy, and I like, dude, sensei, teach me. Um, let me see these different cocktails and stuff like that. And he's all right. So he'll throw different things at me. And I'd say half or more of it I don't like because I could taste the alcohol, and alcohol tastes like shit. It's horrible.
Yep. It's poison. Yeah.
It's poison. Yeah. So please get rid of that for me. Thank you very much. And because he's learned my taste over the years. And but every time I go in, I take a chance to try to look at new things. And the last time I went and had $100 cigar, ridiculous. Um, it's so
Saw
ridiculous.
you coming.
No, well, not I didn't pay. I don't pay for any of this stuff, dude. You think I'd pay $100 for a cigar?
I watched some guy smoke a $5,000 cigar. I said, "What the hell is in that cigar
I
that
know
it
that's
costs five
stupid.
thousand dollars?"
It's stupid. It is stupid. I've never had one that pricey. And actually, the one I like as far as Cubans go, right? Cubanos.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a because I don't like soft the Cohiba, which is super famous, right? It's just too soft. I want something a little more kick, and that same guy, this bartender, he said, "Well, maybe try this one. You'll like this one," and it was only $50, and it was way better. So I tend to get that one when I go in now. But nevertheless, um, he gave me an Alexander. I tried a whole bunch of different shit, right? And most of it was like, no, nope, nope, nope. But then he gave me an Alexander. I'm like, damn, dude. It's equal parts gin or brandy. I'm assuming he used gin because he didn't call it a brandy Alexander. Creme de cacao, chocolate, cream of chocolate, and cream.
Hmm.
So gin, chocolate cream, and then just cream. Shake the hell out of that, and put it in a cocktail glass and garnish it
Mm.
with nutmeg. Mm.
Sounds like a trip to the toilet for me. All that cream.
Oh well, yeah, I'm not lactose intolerant. I'm a proper Scandinavian. Thank you very much. Um,
I was made for the milk.
I was, but they do have they have a coffee one with I don't know this. They use coffee
Ugh.
liqueur instead, and they have a blue Caracal that they were replacing for blue Alexander. But whatever. So it's not crazy. I mean, it's got gin in it, but it's not crazy levels of alcohol, right? But dude, next time you go out, Grimlock, you try you an Alexander, dude. Telling you,
Okay.
that thing is jamming. What is your favorite cocktail? For me, it's probably still a amaretto sour. I could drink those all night, dude. They're good.
That would probably be it right now. I've kind of, it, I mean, I haven't drank in a while, but I would say that would probably be the one I'd go to right now if I had to.
Yeah, amaretto sour is banging, dude. Because I have to go out like once every month and a half or once a month. I have to go to one of these things and drink. And the good thing is the Japanese can't drink worth shit, so I don't have to drink too much. And I tend to always drink more than they do because it takes me so long to start to feel it, right? And shit,
Mhm.
they're paying for it, so
Yeah.
fair
Fair money.
enough. But I think that bill that night, just this last time I went, which was a couple weeks ago, um, just for me was like 500 or 600 bucks, just for me.
Oof.
And it's so ridiculously expensive. Even like my wife gets these fancy little, because she can't drink, she's literally allergic to alcohol. Um,
Yeah.
she gets these little fruity. Although to be fair, they come up with some pretty cool concoctions for the non-drinkers, though, for the ladies, I have to say. And she get these little fruity drinks, and she does love them. Even one of those at that place is like $30, $40, dude, for a single drink. Crazy, right? It's just
Yeah.
juice. It probably costs 50 cents to make the damn thing.
But they got you.
They got you. They get you. They saw you coming, as you said.
Yep.
But I don't know. I've been kind of enjoying experimenting and trying different cocktails. Not really because, like I said, it takes me too much so to the point I start to feel it anyway. So it's kind of wasted on that. But
Hmm.
just tastiness.
Gotta
But
get
if
you
you
that
go,
moonshine. That'll get you.
no, I don't. Yeah, moonshine would get me. That is what I should be drinking, seeing as who I am and what I am. I
Yeah.
should be drinking moonshine, right? But there's none of that over here, and I don't
It's
want
a
that
it's a
anyway.
good thing I don't drink because I know my alcoholic genetics.
Yeah.
I watched my uncle and my cousin and well, two of my cousins at 7 in the morning. I was in Chicago at my cousin. I have a cousin who's very very rich. He's worth tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He's a steel broker,
Oh, nice.
and we were at his house getting ready to go to Ohio State game, but they were playing Northwestern. And 7 in the morning, him and my other cousin and my uncle doing moonshine and orange juice started that day off, and they did not stop drinking from then until whenever they passed out that night. They got into two different fights with different people.
Nice.
It was a whole
Good
experience,
night.
right?
Irish. They sound Irish.
In the middle of well, yeah, that side is in the middle of downtown Chicago at some sports bar where one of them got kicked out because he was too drunk, and the bartender said, "You got to go." Uh, and then he walked outside and started a fight with his friend because, of course, he did. And it was just, it was an ordeal. But my point is, they started at 7 in the morning with moonshine and orange juice, and I said, "That's just disgusting." First of all, that can't possibly taste good. But they didn't care. It was cold as hell, right? It was a late fall game, so cold and windy as shit in Chicago. It was not a fun time otherwise. The game was kind of boring because Ohio State just destroyed them. Uh, yeah, but other than that, they wandered around the streets of Chicago drunk off their ass until we finally got back to his big ass house. He had a $150,000 Escalade he was driving around that day, and he decided because he was extremely drunk that he was going to take the Escalade out off roading like it's a 4x4 pickup truck,
As you do.
and he's just in his backyard doing donuts, just flinging.
Sweet.
destroying his own yard in this Escalade. I'm like, what are you doing?
Memories, making
Oh.
memories. You know, the last time I was in Chicago, which is a long time ago, right? Many decades ago. So maybe things are different. But last time I was in Chicago, I was up on the water, so I guess that would be the northeast side of the city, and doing a jazz gig. I was doing music, and there was a commotion. My set was done, and I was just kind of chilling out, right? But there was a commotion, so of course I stuck my head around, being a bouncer, to see what's going on. It's just kind of instinctive, right? And there
Mhm.
was a bunch of black guys that were cutting out, right, and being assholes. And the main bouncer of this live house, the boss guy, came down and he yelled at him and said, "You guys know you're not supposed to be here. Get the hell out!" And they left quite promptly. So I assumed they had had some history with him, or they were like part of some gang or something that he knew and they knew. That's what I assumed. And later I asked him, I said, "What was all that noise about?" And he explained what I already saw. And I was like, "Well, you said, you guys aren't supposed to be here. What were you referencing?" He said, "Oh, they're black." Huh. So I wonder if Chicago's still like that.
I'd imagine. I don't think he even lives there anymore. I'm pretty sure he moved to Florida, but
Well, I'm
yeah, I'd
just saying
imagine.
it came into my head. Uh, because Chicago seems to be a very black city, with a lot of black authority, but it seemed from that interaction that there are certain places blacks are not allowed.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a fairly segregated city. They don't obviously say that out loud, but typically. But yeah, if they're the more upscale parts, which is where we were, you don't see very many black people. You see mostly just white people. To be honest with you, that's what I saw that day. Uh, and it's pretty obvious. Like it's so funny to me how many of these places are so-called liberal strongholds, right? Democrat cities, and almost all of them are like that,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, New
There's this
York's not really like
obvious.
that though.
Well, yeah, but New York's a different beast. There's this obvious segregation that nobody's ever actually enforced, but everybody kind of lives with, right? And even in my city, which is a Democrat city, but it's a poor one, uh, it's very obvious like that. Like except for my a few neighborhoods, like mine is fairly well a little bit of everything, except for the street I actually live on is basically all white people. But around us is you got Muslims, Asians. We got tons of Asians. I don't know why there's so many Asians here. Uh, even the Chinese Christian church on the corner, Chinese Baptist. It's literally it's called the First Chinese Baptist Church, I believe, something like that.
Wow.
Uh, right on our corner, and it's a fully active church. I've seen. I mean, every time I go by there, there's all kinds of people there. So, uh, but other than that, like my wife and I say this all the time because it's true. In our neighborhood, or the street over, which is still our neighborhood technically, there's the white street, which is our street, right? There's almost all white people, but one Asian guy lives on it, and he's the most disgusting one of the bunch. He's a hoarder, and his yard is just full of nonsense.
I'm surrounded by
Everybody else
Asians,
is,
just so you know.
I know, everybody else is some different shade of white. We got bikers, we got people with pride flags, we got the whole deal,
Yeah.
right? But you go one street over and then do a little turn and go down that street there, and it's all black people. But it's
Interesting.
black people who keep their shit up. So their
So,
houses, their yards,
so
everything look
Americans.
better than most of ours, right? They just take care of their stuff. They clearly make good money. Right next to them's a really really ritzy church. Like,
Yeah.
it's that upper strata.
Yeah.
So it's funny that because we'll drive through there sometimes, and it's a black neighborhood, but it's not a black neighborhood, quote unquote, because everybody takes care of their shit.
Well, they're just
And
Americans. They're not black
yeah,
ghetto people. Yeah.
but if you go literally across the main street, right? So we live off in like a side section. There's a main street over to that side of it where the other blacks are. Whew, it's a whole different experience.
Wow.
Whole different experience over there, and that's how most of these American cities are now. They're segregated, but not by law. They just are.
They
It's
just
just
are
how it
by
is.
nature, kind of like the South is
Yeah,
like that too. But no,
yeah.
New York's different. Like, say you take North Side, or I'm sorry, Central Park North, right? And Grimlock and me both like you are not wanted. Stay out.
Mm,
It doesn't matter your color. It depends on your wealth, your status.
hmm
I mean, I don't know about you, Grimlock, but I lived in New York, quite a bit, and yeah, I never there. I mean, everyone's racist toward everyone, but it isn't segregated though. I mean, it's segregated by class, by caste, not by racial color. That's my opinion. What do you think, Grimlock?
I don't know about now.
No, neither do
Maybe
I.
back then. Uh, yeah, back then. I mean, like you went into Chinatown, it wasn't a wall of Chinese people talking about. I think you need to go back the way you came.
Not at all. They wanted your money desperately, boy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I mean, because I mean, I'm doing pretty well now. But when I was young and living in New York, I was a struggling musician, right? I mean, I am not welcome in Northside any more than anybody else would be who doesn't have money. And I'm a
Yeah,
big, tall white guy. Now, I played up at the North End, Central Park North. Sorry, many times as a musician at bar mitzvahs, particularly.
yeah.
That, and you know where else I did a lot of bar mitzvahs? Flatbush.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. Because you got the Flatbush is like one side of Flatbush is all Jew and the other one's all Spanish. And then you go down two streets and it's black people who hate everybody more than anyone on planet Earth. Yeah, Brooklyn is quite a place. People always complain about the Bronx, and fair enough, dude. When I was young, you do not stop at a stoplight in Bronx. You do not do that. But I think Brooklyn was the worst of it, to be honest with you. You ever been to Brooklyn? You spend any time in Brooklyn?
For me,
Yeah.
where I'm from.
Oh, you're from Brooklyn. Okay. Well,
He's
I'm
a
just saying
Brooklyn
because,
boy.
well, dude, you know as well as I do, people from the boroughs don't necessarily go into the other boroughs, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Queens people are Queens people, Bronx people are Bronx people. They don't necessarily move around a lot. Which is weird because it's just one city, but it's not though.
Its own little
Nope.
country, really.
Yeah, but I mean it's very true. But seeing as I'm not a native New Yorker, I'm a carpetbagger really. I had no trouble moving around and going seeing other stuff. But
No,
Manhattan particularly, those elites, they don't care what color you are. They just they want your filthy ass anywhere near them.
I
So
don't
the
blame him.
yeah, that's true. You
Have you
shouldn't
met
blame
most people? I don't want them around me much either. To be honest with
them.
you.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I told you I was up at the north. It's a Central Park. You know Central Park, of the northeast side. A lot of rich people, right? And I was doing a bar mitzvah. We were getting ready, and we had done just kind of a set layout and like a dress rehearsal type of thing before the evening was going to start. And we were all just kind of relaxing and getting all our suit and tie and everything in order, right? But we're sitting there at this window because we're on a high rise, and we look out across to the building next door. There, sitting in a big old beautiful leather chair with a cigar and looks like a glass of whiskey, Clint Eastwood. It's kind of cool. That is cool thing about New York. And I'm assuming California, LA is the same. But you can just randomly walk in down the street and see some famous person, whether they're a singer or an actor or a politician or something like that, just random, you know.
a lot of those places are gone now. Too.
But it's weird though, because they're just randomly walking down the street. Like I've seen Desmond Tutu twice in my life. Once was at an airport, and the other was him walking down What do they call that? That Jewish section with all the great delis down south of the park. I think it's off of 47th. Can't,
Fuck.
rem- they had a name for that. I can't remember what they called it, but it's Jewland, right? And dude, best delicatessens ever, man. That's where I got my bagels. It was worth the walk too, because I'm over in the village, right? But I'd make that walk, no problem for that, man. Their pastrami sandwiches. But I saw Desmond
Mm,
Tutu walking through the Jew neighborhood, man. I was like, damn.
good pastrami.
Oh, dude, man, that stuff is banging. If you want yourself some good deli food, you go to the Jews, man. I know the Cubans got that Cubano sandwich, but and there's
Yep.
a cut. The Latinos have some other Latinos have some good stuff. I'm not saying they don't, but dude, if you want deli sandwich or deli stuff, go to the Jews, man.
Yeah. They listen. They got one thing. All right. Everybody
They
gets
do.
one thing.
They do.
That's their one thing. Good job.
Where did you get your pastrami sandwiches? Being as you're a New Yorker, it's illegal not to eat them.
Um, to be honest, it depends on where he was. Like, because from my, if I was like getting up on my way to school, I would go through like two or three different neighborhoods. So,
You were getting your pastrami in Brooklyn?
well, yes, I
No,
mean,
no, you
dude,
don't. You don't get pastrami in Brooklyn. You get pizza. What are you doing?
well, yeah, of course, yes, but dude, you just said most of the time people don't leave their
They
boroughs. I
don't.
was one
They
of
are
those
right.
people.
Right. I did say that. But Brooklyn
I,
pizza.
I,
Brooklyn pizza's awesome, dude.
I I was one of those people. If I didn't have a reason to go to Manhattan, yeah, and
Most
I
people
was
don't. Yeah. I lived
no.
in Manhattan. So.
So my grandmother and her husband they stayed in Bensonhurst.
Oh, nice.
You had that Italian and Jewish mix, so whether you wanted a bagel or you wanted some pizza and like you said some pastrami, you couldn't go wrong around that neighborhood. So
Well, that's different though. You kind of pulled that out there. I forgot all about Bensonhurst. That is the noisy, loud Jews. Yep.
it became more Russian as I got older.
Really? Now I remember
Yeah,
back in the day that was like the swarthy Jews.
when I was like when I was small, all it was all Jewish and Italian, and then slowly around the mid 90s, late 90s, you started seeing more Russians. You hear more techno music, and when they would, when they'd stop at the red light, because the Jews and the Italians back then they wasn't driving Mercedes, but all the Russians were.
Sure, no, that's true. I always thought they were Ukrainians though, but I don't know. I didn't ask them, and I didn't interact with them. But yeah, Bensonhurst. I used to go there all the time. I used to go down to Diker Park. I know
So,
I didn't name it,
hey,
dude. That's a nice park
wait,
though. Diker Park is a real nice park, and I go there because down at Gravesend is also a whole bunch of parks. It's a ton of them, right? I don't know why, but Gravesend is that's where all the Jews are. There are a lot of the Italian Jews down there, but there's so many parks down at Gravesend and up in Maplestown, um, or where there wasn't Maplestown. What do they call that? Mapleton, maybe. They had
I
nice
will
parks
say
up there too.
I don't know how it is now, but it used to be a ton of parks. There was always a place where the kids could go play. Thankfully,
They were. No, New York is good about that. You also have Bath Beach down there, where there isn't a beach. You know, all
no,
of this, by the way, for those you guys who are curious, this is on the southwest side of Brooklyn, down going toward Coney Island.
yep,
Because I was when I was younger, I lived up in Brooklyn Heights and and Flatbush at a later point. But it's definitely worth the walk down. Then of course you have Floyd, the big park down there, Floyd Park, or no, it wasn't Floyd Park. It was the Marine Park down on the southeast point down in Brooklyn, because I lived in Brooklyn twice. Um, so you had that, and you had there's a lot of parks in Brooklyn. Now that I'm thinking, and my brain's coming back to me, you have the Island Channel, right, on the east side of Brooklyn, and that's just full of parks and islands and stuff like that. Dude, you ever go into the Island Channel? Ever travel around that?
I don't think I went to that one. We used to go to Prospect Park a lot.
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Well, Prospect's right in the middle. It's right in Brooklyn Heights, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, why? Of course you would. I did that a lot because that's just literally across the street or up the street from me. But no, you go to the east side, the Island Channel there, Grass Bay, right? Grassy Bay. You have that little bay over there, and you have all those islands in there. And I do sailing and boating and stuff, so I would jump around those islands all the time. That's over near the JFK Airport, right?
Our simple selves used to like feeding the ducks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a good thing
So
about New York, though. They do have a lot of parks, you know, because we used to come out the inlet down at Gravesend and come around over to Breezy Point and hang out over there. You ever been to Fort Tilden on Breezy Point Peninsula there?
no, I know what it is, but I never actually went there.
Uh,
I was
it,
I was because usually, especially once I got into high school, I was going to whatever park my friends was going to play basketball.
mhm.
So it would be Sunset, uh, and it was Sunset, Fort Hamilton. Um, I can't think of the name of the park on 18th Avenue that we used to go to. Well, we used to cut class in
You
because
mean off Crown Heights?
no, not in Crown Heights. My grandmother on my father's side, she stayed in Crown Heights. On St. Mark's, right across from the Brooklyn Children's Museum.
Yeah.
Kind of rough over there.
Yeah, well, dude, there's definitely. You know, the funny thing is, Brooklyn's one of the older parts of New York, where Bronx is one of the newer parts, because Bronx is it's like north of Manhattan. It's on the same peninsula, right? But the Bronx is up there north of it. It's one of the newer areas, but it's by far the worst, you know. But it's also funny because if you drive to the Bronx or get through it, then up above that, you know, you got Mount Vernon, you got Yonkers, um, you
Mhm.
know, you got there's some nice areas up there, and if you keep going, you get up the White Plains, of course, Tarrytown, things like that, Stanford. But wow, I haven't sat and thought about New York in quite a while. I do know one thing that you never do when you're in New York, though. You never do it. You never ever go to Jersey City, particularly Hoboken.
No, fuck the swamp.
Well, fuck that place, man. Yeah,
What, what with it you can do? Why would you spend time in the swamp?
no, yeah. Screw Jersey City. They're weird. They're artificially tanned people. That's what
Yes.
they are. Yeah, we don't truck with them types of peoples.
No.
No, yeah.
Get them out of here.
Get them out of here.
Don't
Goodness
need them.
gracious.
Don't want them.
Yeah. You know, I did stay on when I first went back to New York for work. I ended up in the village, of course, because they have all those old warehouses they converted into like, you know, you pay a ridiculous amount of money and you get a bunk bed. Those places, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I did when I first went to New York. I was crashing with a girl of all places, Roosevelt Island, dude. Now, you guys aren't from New York, so you don't understand. Roosevelt Island is the forgotten spot in New York City. There's a tram and trains and everything. They go right over it all the time, but no one ever visits it. Because as far as I know, unless you take a boat, unless they've changed it, there's only one little teeny bridge that actually goes to Roosevelt Park, and it's way up. It's up in Queensbridge, I think, or yeah, it's just right near Rainy Park, right? But
Hmm.
I actually lived on Roosevelt Island for like 6 months with that girl, dude. If you want to live in New York, that's where you live. I'm telling you. It's the best place. And I know you got the Upper East Side, Lenox Hill, all that. Well, I get it. I get it. Lexington Avenue and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, Roosevelt Island is the place. And it's forgotten, dude. I'd walk around there at the peak busy times, and there's like hardly anybody at all. And just across the water on either side, because it's a real island, there's just people milling around by the millions, right? Millions, like ants. But Roosevelt Island's quiet. Now, why do you think that is, Grimlock? Why is Roosevelt Island just kind of forgotten by New Yorkers? What's that all about?
Probably because it's not considered a tourist spot.
No, and it literally you have to go. I mean, you have to go to the Long Island City side to even get into it because you can't get into it from the Manhattan side, right?
Because I mean, there's like certain places like you're not gonna tell people if you come to New York, oh, you gotta go to Staten Island. And it's mostly like the tourist spots that everybody knows. Go here, go. You got to go to the Upper West Side, and especially back then when shopping used to be more of an in-person thing. You got to go downtown where all the stores are and shit like that. But with Roosevelt, I don't think there's anything over there that like most people would be like
No,
if you're from out of town.
there's a
You
school.
have.
That's it. I don't know about now. This is decades ago. But there was just a school, some like fine arts, you know, college or something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I tell you what though, if I had to live in New York again, that's where I'd live. It
Hmm.
is the best because you're in the middle of the biggest and busiest and noisiest city on the planet, but yet it feels like you're on a completely different planet.
Hmm.
It's very interesting, Bruce, and it was just sheer luck because the girl I was dating at the time, and I was moving to New York because she was up at the university with me. We went to the same university, but we were done and heading back, and she said, "Well, you can come stay with me and see if you could get some work." And I did stay with her, but then I ended up getting my own place over in the village. But yeah, I'm glad. It's just coincidence, but I'm glad I had that experience because that's a nice place. I like Roosevelt Island. Um,
Yeah.
Korea has tons of parks. Alan says, "What would you know about it?" Um, Eric says Carnegie Deli, dude. You don't want to go to those places. You want to go to little mom and pop juice shops, the
Mhm.
ones that no one knows the name. That's where you want to go. Yeah, and it's like especially like when you go up north, you go to like Harlem, for instance. Um,
Yeah.
and there are some famous, I'd call them tourist stops, especially for black people with soul food and stuff like that. But dude, get off the main street, go on the back street, and that's where you find the real good food. Hell's Kitchen's the same
So
way.
I just looked it up. Apparently, you can take the ferry to Roosevelt Island. Did
Yeah, no,
not
of
know.
course you could take a boat. Of course you could take a boat, but it's that little island coming. There's a little bridge. It's a little teeny thing, dude. Um, it's over in I think it's Greenpoint. No, it's not Greenpoint. It's where is that damn little bridge?
No, you're right. No,
It's
you're right. It's from
Queensbridge.
Queens.
Queensbridge.
Roosevelt Island Bridge from Queens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo, cars are.
Cars are restricted. That's right. No cars. That's true. But they have like a little. It's like a. It's not a tram. It's like a sky car, but a sky car tram. It's weird.
Yeah.
But that's like the only way in outside of the water, and maybe that's another reason people don't go, and you can't drive on it. But then again, it's not very big. But yeah, dude,
I've never heard anybody say
that's what
that
I
they're
mean.
from Roosevelt.
Yeah, no one ever talks about it. Uh, Trying to think. Let me go check real quick because I can't remember the damn name of it. Here, hold on a second. Roosevelt Island. All right, let's see here. All right. Oh wow. I guess it's gone. Huh. I'm looking at it now, and yeah, the school is gone. Holy shit, dude! I found it. You know what it changed into, dude? That's a shame because that little like bakery market is still there. Do you know what the school I
Hmm,
was because I said there was a school there, some little art school. Do you know what is now in place of the art school on Roosevelt Island?
what is it?
The Islamic Society of Roosevelt Island. Fuckers. Bomb that
They're good
place
at
immediately.
that.
That's a shame, dude,
they're,
because that was the main thing. We had a lot of students running around there, right? It's
they're good at
gone
that
and
kind
it's
of
been
shit.
replaced by Muslims. Damn, dude. And they're right across the street from the that there is a famous church on Roosevelt Island. It's a beautiful architecture church. It's Chapel of the Good Shepherd. That is probably the only famous thing there. It is a beautiful church. And it's right across the street. Oh, great. We got religious wars going on, dude. That sucks, dude. Oh, look, yeah, they still have, dude. That's a good thing because I lived right over next to the library, the public library. Is
Mhm.
where she had her place. She rich girl, right? But and I used to walk down to that library all the time. Nice old, a lot of old buildings there. I'm sorry. Let's stop talking about New York. Nostalgia. I apologize. Let me go ahead and bring this up and get into what we're supposed to be doing. New York
What's
is
on
a
the
fun
menu?
city, though. Even though it's a shithole, it's still a fun city.
It used to be a lot more fun.
Well, yeah, I haven't been there in decades. You're right. Go ahead, Thunder.
Sydney Sweeney suits up as Wonder Woman. Adria Ajorna, how you say that name? Likes the post. I don't know who that is.
Well, Adria Arjona, we talked about before. She's the girl that the fans want to play Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
Um, and of course, it's been canceled now, but it looked like from conversations we've had here on the show, doing research, that it looked like James was leaning that way, and we looked at it and was like, maybe. Doesn't look that bad. But that's been completely canceled now, so that's not happening. However, I put this up here for a couple of interesting little points. Now, Sydney here, she once a year has, she says, she calls it excuse me, she calls it a school, but it's really just a bunch of her friends come down for the summer and they have like a party for a couple of weeks or a month. Fair
Sure.
enough, whatever. She's a rich girl anyway, right? We know this. But she's just a rich Jew girl. That's a Ashkenazi Jew right there. I don't care what she tells you her name is. That's just like Scarlett Johansson, right? That's a little Jew girl. All right. Anyway, um, so no big deal. And but they had a costume a party at this getaway, right? Why not? And she and her boyfriend dressed it up as Wonder Woman and Superman. Once again, why not? That costume that he is wearing is expensive, boy. Look at that.
Yeah.
I bet.
I mean, how
You ain't
much?
picking that up.
Go ahead, Grimlock.
I was saying you ain't picking that up at the Spirit Halloween store.
No, that's expensive. But seeing as she is a Hollywood girl and a super rich girl, and he's super rich too. He's a music executive. It does stuff like Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift. This guy's super rich, but so he can afford it. But here's the funny thing. First of all, once again, I bemoan the young generation and their desire for beauty because, damn, that's not a good looking girl, man. That is not a good looking girl.
Yeah.
That
No, she's not very pretty.
She's not very pretty at all, dude.
It's
But
all
this
about the
is
boobage.
Yeah, but I mean, she also knows how to use her feminine wiles and stuff like that. I mean, like Cleopatra, even though the blackety blacks constantly want to try to tell us she is black, which of course we know she's Macedonian, and we know exactly what she look like, and that's not a pretty woman, not handsome.
This was a dog.
Yeah, she a dog, but she knew how to play that game, though, boy. I tell you what. Anyway, um, so that's one. But I don't blame this girl any success. You go get it, girl. You get at it, right? She got a little Wonder Woman thing on it. People like it, and it's like, okay, fine, cool, they're having fun. But here's the other interesting thing. This is her man,
She's got some
right?
serious hip bones. What's going on there? Look at
But she looks like she's had a baby, right?
that. Hey, something. Those hip bones are stick. They could cut you.
They are. Yeah. I mean, it's because when before a woman has a child, those of you who don't know, their hips are still narrow. After they have
Right.
a child, their hips dislodge and expand because they haven't given birth, and you get the womanly hips after the fact. With most women, not all. Some women do have large hips from the get, but therefore she does look like she's had a kid, or maybe she's just one of those that just is wide hipped. But nevertheless, you got to keep in mind, and here's my point: that is an extremely tiny human, Sydney Sweeney. She's
Yeah.
very, very small. She might well be the under 5 foot level small. She's that small. Now,
Think so?
yeah, no, she's super teeny, dude. She's a
She's like
very,
5'2".
very teeny girl. Um, Matter of fact, it's one of the things she's known for is being so teeny. People are surprised when they're around her how teeny, like Ellen Page, teeny, right? Now, she has dodged the short, scrunched up neck that a lot of those short girls get. So good for her. Maybe she did dance or something when she was, because she's a rich girl. She probably did ballet, right? But nevertheless, her man, now he's a rich guy. He is, and she's got money before she even started acting. However, that is a short dude. That's like Tom Cruise size, dude. Maybe even he might even be shorter than Tom. That's a little teeny dude.
Oh,
But he got him a girl though, so good for him. Congratulations to the little men who find them a woman. Alan, there is hope.
Doesn't Alan have like a 50 kids?
What do you say?
Doesn't Alan have a bunch of kids?
No, I don't think so. But let's
Oh,
imagine he does. I think that's more
oh
fun.
no.
Yeah.
according to this, she is 5 feet and 3/4 inches.
So she just over 5 foot, just over.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
just
She's
tall enough to be
teeny.
Japanese.
She's the same height as my wife. My
And you
wife's
know
teeny like
she's
that.
wearing heels in this, or because she might be doing the sandals, but come on, this girl's doing heels.
Yeah,
Yes,
probably.
sir. If you've never been with a woman that short, you don't know what you're missing.
I have. I know a little girl. I don't mind
I'm
little
just
girls.
saying. I'm
But
just saying.
I have no. I'm not against it. My wife's only like 5'3", 5'4". She's not that big.
That's I mean, basically that's what my wife's built like. She's heavier, but that's what she's built like. She has the boobs, well, she actually has an ass unlike Sweeney, but everything else, and she doesn't have the scrunched up neck thing. Like
Yeah, a
she's
lot of
just
them do.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I
very
think.
strange. It's a shame too because a lot of them. I knew a girl. She had a sister who was gorgeous, like genuinely beautiful, solid 8.5, maybe a 9. Uh, and then she looked like everything you're talking about, scrunched up, frump, just nothing. It's just so. It was like, oh, sweetheart, that's gotta suck. when your sister's
Yeah,
that much hotter than you. That's gotta
dude,
suck.
dude, I had a similar experience here recently. I finally met because my son married a girl, and she's a cute girl. She's not unattractive at all, although she is super teeny. But Japanese Asians don't have that thing because they're naturally smaller, right?
Yep.
But anyway, she's a cute girl, and and it doesn't matter anyway. They're happy, they get along real well. However, I met her younger sister or older sister. Well, they're about the same age anyway. Maybe older sister for the first time. Damn, dude, shockingly hot. I mean, holy. I mean, because dude, Japanese girls aren't very pretty. You know this, right? And so he was
Yep.
already doing better with her anyway. But her sister is a smoke show. And I met her, and I was, being polite and shaking hands and stuff. And I was in a situation where I had to say something, but I didn't want to guffaw. So my what came out of my mouth, which it's a fair that you guys tell me. I think it was a fair deflection. I said, "Wow, you guys don't look the same at all."
You just trying to start shit. Oh,
This troublemaker. Big old troublemaker.
yep.
Dude, she is a smoke show. And her husband, they got 3 kids. Her husband is a professional soccer player, actually. But anyway, so I didn't care one foot than the other. It just struck me. Money talks, baby. But then again, she's rich too because that's a little dude. We know how women are always on about they want that 6 foot something guy. This guy's like
Yeah,
five
that's
four.
all bullshit,
He's
though.
5'4",
Well, you know
5'5".
it is.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
seen just today when we were walking in the park. Well, every one of their so-called internet rules, I saw at least two or three couples that break them. I saw the big fat guy and the skinny little girl. I saw the balding guy with the tall girl with the long beautiful hair. I saw a guy who had to be 5'5" walking next to a girl who was like 5'8", holding hands. Like, it's all bullshit. Women don't really care. All they really care about is if you give them the little tingles. If you make them tingle, they'll tickle your taint. That's it.
They
That's the
will.
only thing that matters. I've seen you've seen it too.
I
The
have.
ugliest, goofiest looking fuck you've ever seen in your life, and he's got a beautiful girl. You're like, what?
Yeah,
That's not right. It's against nature what you're doing. Especially if you get her pregnant, you're gonna ruin her genes with your ugly. Get
that's
out of
true.
here.
That is true. Alan has told us that he is, as we speak, putting on his Puck costume. Now, I'm sure he's referring to the Puck of Greek mythology, but in my head, it's the Puck from Marvel Comics Alpha Flight.
Yeah,
That's my own
sounds about right.
internal dialogue. Anyway, so yeah, okay, but that's it. Nothing important here. They're just have young people having fun. I mean, there's no problem whatsoever. Um, but I just kind of feel her. She does have a nice smile though. I just kind of feel bad for this generation because that's their hottie. Like, damn, dude.
You can pay for a nice smile though. That's cheating.
Yeah, but no, I've seen her in interviews. She's actually kind of bubbly, happy, friendly
No,
person.
that's why she's popular because
That's just
she's
not a bitch.
properly, yeah, she's properly feminine, and
I, I,
they're starving for it. The young
They
men, they're
are. They
starving
are.
for that because so many of these women are insufferable cunts.
I said it before. I think she's a 6. Just if you go just on her look,
Yeah,
but if you add
She
into
said
her
she's a
personality,
4. What are you talking about?
nah. You like Jamie Lee Curtis man ass, so
Yeah, shut up.
that will forever be my rebuttal to it. I'd be waiting to throw that shit out like a fucking Uno reverse card.
Okay, I'm gonna let's go take a look here. Let's have an official
Oh
Jamie
boy, here we go.
Lee
He's about to defend that flat ass.
Curtis.
He's gonna die on this.
Let's see here, young, because we don't want
nuclear,
the current one. That's ridiculous.
nuclear, nuclear fallout couldn't kill the kaiju. Defending Jamie Lee
Now,
Curtis is flat.
you got to tell me
Still,
that's not a cute girl right there. You got to tell me that's not a
I
cute girl. You got to tell me that's not a cute girl. This is the Jamie Lee Curtis I grew up with. right? Not the nasty old crone we have now. This is the Jamie Lee I grew up with, right? Now she's a bit of horse face, and that's not for everybody, not even me. I don't even like horse face. But you got to tell me that's not a cute girl right there.
If you make the same argument you're making for Jamie Lee Curtis, the same argument you're making against Sydney Sweeney, you can make for Jamie Lee Curtis. If she did not have her rack, you would not talk about Jamie Lee Curtis
Fair.
because she has nothing.
No, fair. I'll give you that. However, I think she is naturally more attractive than Sydney in the face.
Well, I think the
Uh,
real problem has always been the bull dyke haircut. You fix the bull dyke
well,
haircut, you're going to do a lot of work right
she
there.
changed to that though. She didn't have that
Yeah.
originally.
Well, it was popular then. There was a lot of it. A
It
lot
was,
of the
and it
short
kind
hair.
of
For
works
some
for her
reason.
because she has a thin face. It
Yeah.
wasn't the way. It's not. I've seen worse, and so have you. But no, I didn't like that either. But whatever. She's not the most beautiful woman ever, but you're not going to sit there and tell me. And she has the same thing Sydney has. Well, first of all, she's a better actress than Sydney is. But
That's not the part I was debating. We're talking
no,
about just looks.
but she also had that bubbly, feminine, smiley persona that Sydney has as well. She had that too.
Was that before? And does that count now? Do you count that she also turned her boy into a girl?
No, dude, she turned into an absolute crone. I've already acknowledged this. But I'm talking about young Jamie, and we're comparing the two. I would say they are similar. I think, you know, I think
Sydney gets more
Jamie's
points
a
because she's a
natural
power
five,
girl.
whereas Sydney's a natural four. But because of their personalities, they can easily pump them up to a six. Yeah,
Um, I would take a natural 4 with a good personality
any
over an
day.
8 with a shitty one
Sure, of
any
course.
day.
But
Uh,
I'm not sitting here trying to say she's gorgeous because she's not. But I'm just saying it ain't all like that, dude.
yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I
look, there are pretty women out here. They're just not. They're fighting tooth and nail to keep them back. We've seen them. We know they exist.
they're out there.
Oh
I
yeah, no,
mean,
that's true. Now,
Barbara, you watch wrestling. Stephanie Vaquer is a smoke show in any country and anywhere else.
oh, that's true.
True.
Now, when I was young, although to be fair, I'm not a
Oh
huge
boy.
blonde guy, but when I was young, this was the girl, Heather
Yeah.
Locklear. And she's not a bad looking girl. She's not a bad looking girl. But when I was young, she was everything during the '80s, dude. Heather
Okay.
Locklear,
Quintessential 80s right
a
there.
quintessential Heather Locklear.
80s blonde anyway.
Yeah, and she's a pretty girl. I mean, I just wasn't big into the blonde, blown out hair thing. I wasn't a big fan of it. To be fair, I much prefer Heather Thomas.
Yeah, we remember, Eric. We remember that this son of a bitch sat here right to all of our faces and said Linda Carter wasn't hot. I said, "What did you just say,
I
sir?"
recanted. Thank you. Okay.
She's still attractive, and she's like 70. She still looks good.
Yeah,
It's
no, she
crazy.
does. She does. Anyway, let's get into it. Enough
Mark Ruffalo
fun and
fires back
games.
at Paramount and calls for national security review. Appalling and fundamentally dishonest. A national security review over Paramount.
Now,
Hmm.
this is interesting because this is to be completely fair, this is the most eloquent I've ever heard Mark Ruffalo because usually he says F this or F that or F you because that's usually how he speaks.
So somebody
But
wrote it for him.
someone
Gotcha.
wrote it
Hmm.
for him. You're right.
Yep.
Exactly. But
Honestly,
basically, Ellison accused because he was going off being anti-Semitic, and Ellison accused them being, they are Jews, right? Accused
Yes.
him of being anti-Semitic. We know right well he's anti-Semitic, as are all of Hollywood. They only like the right type of Jews, the Jews who aren't
That's right.
actually Jews at all,
They're
right?
Jews.
They're just, they claim
The
the
wizards.
biology of the Jew.
Yeah.
So they called him out for his anti-Semitism, and he retorted. And I thought this was interesting because someone had to write this. Let's make a decision because I mean Mark Ruffalo is an absolute tool, right? However, he can act though. He can do the job. So let me read
Can he act
this.
like something that's not a piece of shit?
What's that?
Can he act like somebody who's not a piece of shit?
Well, yes, he can. We've seen him do it. In the last Spider-Man movie, he was a nice guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, let's read this and let's make a
I hope
decision.
every
Did
time we
he
say
say this off the top of his head, or was this written for him? Let's see. The accusation that I am an anti-Semitic is appalling and fundamentally dishonest. Criticizing the actions of the Israeli prime minister, a military technology contract, or the executives who supply it is not the same as criticizing Jewish people. This critical and necessary dialogue is then dishonestly framed as being anti Israel. To be clear, my views come from my own political convictions. It should never be interpreted as hostility toward Jewish people, for whom I have deep love and respect. Everything I know about acting, activism, and humanism has been profoundly shaped by the Jewish French colleagues and loved ones who have been integral. You didn't do that right. And family throughout every point in my life. So that is a mistake. So he's reading something and he misread it because there's no way that came off top of his head. Uh-uh.
yes. First of all, why the fuck are we still listening to this faggot's opinion about anything political? You
Well,
are
why does
paid
he
to
think his
pretend
opinion is important? That's a good question. Yeah.
because stupid faggots will go out there and ask him as though people care.
Now,
You are paid to pretend, nigga. Get your Play-Doh, go sit in your corner and pretend.
however, this next paragraph is kind of interesting. The last paragraph, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, da 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 da. Yeah, okay, fine. But this paragraph right here, Thundera, why don't you read that? Because somebody is making a fair point. Go ahead.
The lawmakers one? Lawmakers on
No,
both sides of the aisle.
this merger,
Wait, what?
this
Oh, okay.
merger.
It's dark. It was darked out for me. This merger has real consequences for people and for the entire country. Scrutinizing the Ellisons, including Oracle's business built on data, surveillance technology, and government contracts, and a serious threat to editorial freedom and the loss of a livelihood for thousands of families is fair and necessary. The $111 billion, what a weird number, $1 billion deal would hand one family control over CNN, HBO, and Warner Brothers, backed in part by foreign money whose influence on editorial decisions has never been fully explained to the public. Listen, whoever wrote this for Ruffalo is so
Chat
full of
GPT.
shit. Is so full of shit. It's coming out the top of his head. Let me tell you why. Because every single one of these so-called arguments,
Yeah.
they would not be making if Bill Gates was trying to buy it.
No.
If one of
And
their allies,
he
Soros'
has, and they didn't.
foundation, was buying it. Yeah. They wouldn't make a single one of these arguments. George Soros, a foreigner, by the way,
Yeah.
not an American, if he was trying to buy it. They wouldn't make a single one of these arguments if some Swedish billionaire company, whatever the fuck, that was super progressive and gay like most of Sweden, was trying to buy it. They wouldn't make these arguments at all
No, and they
because
glaze China
they're
all the time.
bullshit.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, they are complete and utter bullshit. It's not, they don't give a single white hot fuck about any of this, not one little bit. Here's what they care about. Ellison wants to make neutral political content. That's all. He hasn't
Yep.
even said he wants to make
Or
right wing content. Neutral political content. And they cannot have that. They cannot abide it with their religion that is Marxism. Every one of these communists need to be crucified. And I mean that literally. I am
Yeah.
so fucking sick of them. I don't care if they're actors. I don't care. All he did is say some things. I don't care. Denounce Marxism in entirety and give away all your money right now. You're done. That's what they're going to try to do to us. Anybody who opposes them, these people are very blatant and obvious and open about it now. They literally have fucking stage shows celebrating Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck. That's what they want.
No
They want
way.
full on
Really?
gulag. Yes. They want
Yes.
full on, they have songs about it. They want full on gulags. They want the whole deal. I've even asked some young communists before. This was years ago. This was 2020. I asked this young communist on Facebook one time, and I said, here's the problem with communism. What happens when somebody just doesn't want to do it? They just don't want to work. They don't want to do whatever. She said, oh, we'll send them to a gulag. Boom. Didn't even question it. Didn't hesitate. Nothing. Because that's what they want. Because they're communists.
Yeah,
They're pieces of
because they
shit.
all
Yeah.
because they all think
And they,
somebody else is going to be doctors and handle
yes,
the architecture and keep everything running while they get to sit at home and do their gay art that nobody's willing to pay for.
Of
that's right.
course, that is true. That is true.
But no,
Now,
these Marxists gotta go. Marxism is the single most deadly ideology per capita to ever exist that we know of. In the short amount of time that it has existed, its body count is astronomical compared to anything else that's ever come before it.
well,
Even Islam, who has
Islam.
a higher total body count, it took them a lot longer to get to these kind of numbers and percentages.
That's true.
And it's disgusting that we tolerate it. It shouldn't be tolerated. The fact that you can't walk around and pretend to be a Nazi or even be a Nazi in public without getting accosted, but you can walk around being a fucking piece of shit communist, which is far worse by any metric, by the way.
Well,
You want to
they're
talk about
both
who killed more
Marxism, but I get your
communists?
point.
Yeah, who killed more communists? Who's more degenerate and disgusting and torturous? Communists. Who hates Christians more? Communists. Who's anti-West more? Communists. They both got to go. Don't want either of them. But if you're going to put me on the scale and say you got to pick one, well, I'm going to pick the one that's the least bad. That's it. That's the only reason. But I would much rather pick neither and just get rid of both of them because Marxism's fucking stupid. It doesn't work. The only thing Karl Marx did is he had some cogent observations, which is easy to do when you're sitting around with your thumb up your ass all day every day. That's pretty simple. Doesn't take long to get, the clock can get broken clocks right twice once a day, right? So that's all he did. I am so utterly done to the point where we're at the point now where we need to Pinochet these motherfuckers. They need rounded up out of their little offices or ivory towers and thrown out of helicopters into the sea. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Well, that
It's
is
it.
what it comes to if it gets to that. Alan says, however, anyone who criticizes Israel Zionists is anti-Semitic now. Well, that's always been true. They're overly
Yep.
sensitive. They prosecute for the slightest, even inkling of intent. However, and I would have agreed with you a few years ago. However, when we saw the October 6th thing happen, and the attack from Gaza, and the world's response and the absolute outpouring of anti-Semitism out of nowhere. I don't know that I agree anymore, dude.
Well, I wouldn't say it was out of nowhere, but I get where you're coming from. It's just one of those things that because you're not allowed to talk about it, because the truth is, again, I use Karl Marx as a good example. The anti-Semites, if you will, the anti-Jewish, the anti-Zionists, these people aren't wrong in the fact that Jews have a disproportionate control over media and finance and all these things. Absolutely, they do. That's not even debatable. They even
No.
they even talk. They make jokes about it. Of course, they do. So that's the problem, right? They come in with a kernel of truth, and then their solution to it. Well, most of these people have no solutions. Let's just be honest; they're losers, and they're they're like the bad kind of conspiracy theorists who've gone so far off the fucking deep end to the point where I'm having to defend Israel, and I can tell you right now that's the last fucking thing I want to be doing. These people with their Israel derangement syndrome, that's just the same as the way people with Trump, where anything Trump does is automatically bad. Anything is it's retarded. It's completely retarded. You've abandoned reason and logic for just utter shambless hate, and that is stupid.
Shambolic.
And the crazy thing is when it comes to like the problem they point out, the disproportionate and the weird degenerate effect that the Jewish people in these positions of powers have, which doesn't make any sense when you think about it, because they're going to get got just the same as everybody else. They keep this shit up. These people just cannot stop with the nonsense. Charlie Kirk apparently is going to come up again. Perfect example. Charlie Kirk got killed by a rabid leftist. The fact that there's even debate on the internet of this validity of this is outrageously stupid.
Yeah.
The man admits that he did it. The man was captured fairly quickly. Everybody knows he did it. It's ridiculous. He bragged about it to his friends online, but there are people who will look at you dead in the face and say, "Nope, Israel did it." Their evidence for this? Nothing. They got nothing.
Well,
That is Israel derangement syndrome.
the
When
chat.
Israel defends their borders by shooting motherfuckers, I agree with it. I'm like, yep, I love it. Do it some more. I
Well,
don't care.
the chat doesn't agree with us. All I'm saying, chat, is this: when that atrocity took place in Israel, and it was an atrocity, and then the amount of anti-Semitism or anti-Zionism, as they like to specify, not just from
Yep.
the Muslims, but all over the
Well,
world, dude, that was disturbing. That was
I
disturbing.
I'll push back on this a little bit and say, so by that logic, are you saying that the trannies rule over us because you're not allowed to criticize them Shrooms either?
That's true. It is an
No,
idiom.
no,
It's
you
mostly
are
correct.
taking me way out of context.
No, no,
I'm
not
No,
not
you. I think
saying
he's talking
you
about.
I'm actually
I think
criticize
he's
not
talking
them.
about
saying
Aaron.
I'm
not you.
saying the response
I'm
was
talking.
disturbing.
He's
No,
not talking to
not
you,
you,
Chester.
not you, Chester. I'm talking about what Alan said. To they said to learn who rules over you. You find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Well, then if that's the case, the LGBT is running this country. Then we could talk about
They
the
kind of
Jews
do.
and everything, but
Women run the world, apparently.
if you say anything about the old Looney Tunes, you're in some deep shit, and you're sitting there doing the humiliation tour.
Yep.
So, and the thing about the Jews and their financial grip on things, we've always had the answer. We've just never done it.
Well, the Germans
And
do.
and no,
Have a
no, it's
ultimate solution
no,
for it.
no, but that's not the answer I'm talking about. The answer is, and this is something because I was listening to a
You're
live
talking
stream
about
Eric
Jehovah's
Demaya had a
Witnesses.
couple of weeks. I know, but I was listening to a live stream Eric Demaya was having. And he said, "Look, you can sit there and beg for a seat at their table, knowing exactly the kind of people who knowing exactly the kind of people they are. But if you're sitting there and your solution is anything but creating your own shit and creating something parallel to them, then you're not really that interested in the solution."
I'm gonna be
And
honest. I thought Elrod was a Jew. I'm confused.
He
I
probably is.
genuinely did.
because
Elrod is a cantankerous sarcasm.
because for a long time, look, we act like they're the only thing in town. I don't know what Israel has on the United States as far as policy to where we are so deep in the weeds with them, but for the other shit, you don't have to give them your money.
Yep.
Well, first of all,
Y'all sit there and bitch about Zionism, but how many people went to go see Brand New Day again?
well,
Yep.
first of all,
Right?
um, Israel is useful to us because it is a stable location in the Middle East for us.
Yep.
That's one, right?
It's also the Holy Land.
Two, they give us way more money than we give them.
Yep.
So, but
The
whatever.
nation of
Why am I
Israel,
defending the
I
Jubies?
personally,
I'm just
exactly.
saying.
That's what I hate. That's what I hate. Is it puts me in a position like you where I have to defend the mostly indefensible, but it's because it comes from the arguments against become too ridiculous. It's the same
It
thing that
is.
happened with Trump. The arguments started to become so ridiculous about what Donald Trump was or isn't or what he's going to do. It was preposterous. It's like the man hasn't existed in public life for 50 years. Of course he has. Everybody knows what Trump is and what he's going to do.
Sure.
And this idea that we were all of a sudden blindsided by the evil of Donald Trump, or we're blindsided by Israel is self-aware and Israel's selfish and self-centered. Yeah, they're a country. They're so every country. You know what I'd rather? I'd much rather the United States had Israel's moxie when it came to fuck everybody else. That
Yeah.
would be great. Can we have
Well,
that level of nationalism, please? Can we shoot people who try to cross our border like they do, please? Please.
Yeah, no,
Please.
that is a fair point. But there is, another thing with that. I think that is kind of important. Um, with with our relationship with Israel, um, it's going back to a point that is not today, right? And therefore, the American Christians who flipped and started loving on the Jews. I don't know how that happened or when that happened. I'm sure someone does. Is an important thing. However, the amount of rhetoric that goes against Israel and just raw political attacks is outrageous. Let me give you an example. Right, right now, it's not Trump started this back in his first term, actually, but
Yeah.
it's something that most people don't pay attention to. There is a thing over at The Hague. There's two bodies. There's a Department of like a Court of Justice, which is meant to try to find and infringe upon countries that are out of bounds, which they never do their job whatsoever. And then
Yeah.
there's the ICC, the International Criminal Court. Now, there are 100 some odd countries. I think it's 120, 130. Now it started with seven. Now it's up to that have signed on
Mhm.
for that. The other half of the planet has not, and America being one of those. Now the ICC has been trying to swing their muscle around since way back in the first term, and Trump put the kibosh on it because it's like you do not have any authority whatsoever over America or Americans at all. Fuck right off, right? Is
Yes.
basically what they told them. And then Biden and his people came in. Of course, it's not Biden, but those liberals, they they got rid of that executive order, and then they started going and attacking. Who are they attacking? Not America so much, but Israel, because got to get them Jews, right? Got to get them
Mhm.
Jews, because the ICC and the UN in general are just a political body. They're not honest. They don't do their job. Their whole thing is about politics, and it's left wing politics. So, and the left wingers hate the Jews. The communist socialists hate the Jews. It just is what it is.
Which is
You
funny
can do
because
a deep
communism
dive,
is
but it
Jewish.
is. Well, seeing as a bunch of Jews are the ones who created it. Yeah,
Yes.
interesting. Um, but nevertheless, so they're once again trying to arrest Netanyahu. They put out a warrant for him and all that kind of stuff. Now, Trump has come in and has been bashing them about the head and shoulders, like, no, you do not have any control over countries who did not choose to consent. I mean, if we go back, since we're talking about the Jubies, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back to their little book, the Torah, which we call the Old
Mhm.
Testament. Well, it's part of the Old Testament.
Yes.
If you recall, when they were given the law, what did Yahweh say to them? Did he say, "This is the law, you shall do it or die painfully in fires and burning"? Well, he said that too. But
He said that later.
he said
Got to
that
that
later.
part
But
later.
what did he say? He requested, God requested that they consent to his law.
That's right.
He requested that they consent. Requested that they consent, right? You cannot impede law on people who do not consent. That will not work. It always breaks down in the long run. And the ICC has been trying to circumvent this for 100% political reasons. They don't go after any dictators on the planet. They don't go after China. They don't go after anyone who they get money for from or is a protected minority class. They only go after the white peoples and the Jews, right?
That's right.
Which the Jews are white people. Let's be fair. So even though
Well,
they
they
hate
actually
that,
have to.
they are. So Trump is severely knocking on them, and one of their top boss judges is a Japanese lady, and the Japanese are all bemoaning. Their prime minister said she's sad about the situation. It's like fuck off. That absolute cunt of a woman, he is 100% pure politics. And she's going after, and I don't even think she understands it because she's actually Japanese. But as with many Japanese, she's just going along to get along, right?
Yeah.
So
Conforming.
here's another example of what the Jews have to deal with. Uh, you have literal political power from a court, which is not legitimate court, to be fair, but going after them for 100% hate and politics, right? So let's not get it twisted, right? I understand all the complaints against the Jews, particularly the Zionists. I get it. However, this is a whole
And the
nother
crazy thing
level
is,
of
you're
a
not
thing.
wrong. They do push degeneracy and bullshit all
They
over. They
do.
do. Absolutely. And there's a reason they do it. There's various reasons. But you
But
have to keep your head on straight. You can't allow yourself to get lost in that absolute quagmire of thinking. Yes, there is a reason that they've been expelled 109, 100. I think it's 110 now. Because I'm pretty sure didn't Cyprus expel them in like 10 years ago from their country repeatedly, from countries all over the world many, many times. It's not just pure bigotry or blatant whatever the fuck they would say. No, it's because they were doing some stupid shit. They said, no, you get out. We don't need you here. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the Jews. Personally, maybe I'm an asshole deciding, you know what, fuck Palestine, we're taking it. Ain't no one coming to their defense, you notice. All these Arabs who want to bitch and moan, all these Arab countries like, yeah, whatever.
now
Ain't none of
Erod
them
is
stepping up.
now Erod
Ain't
is
none of them doing
accusing
nothing.
me of taking the $7,000 check from Israel.
Wait, you know what? Listen, I could use 7K. Shoot this way. I'll take it. I'll take. What? This is the funny thing. Imagine, if you will, that you're the KKK, right? And
Yeah,
the Southern Poverty Law Center is funding you.
yeah.
Are you actually betraying anybody? I mean, think about it. If you're taking their money and using it to shit on them, who's the cuck? Sounds
Dude,
like they're the
Planned
cuck.
Parenthood, Southern Poverty Law Center, KKK, all created by Democrats to deal
Yes.
with and weed out the blacks.
Correct.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but one day the black people in America are going to wake up and understand that their greatest enemy has always is and always will be the Democrat.
You might be waiting a while, my friend. It's okay though. They've aborted so many of their children; they're not going to really
Dude,
exist as a demographic in
they've
100 years.
aborted
So
more children than they have themselves alive.
that's right. Yeah, they keep that up. They're just
Holy
simply not
shit.
going to exist.
Holy
They're just
shit,
going
dude.
to genocide themselves. What's it called when it's a self-genocide? Is there a term for that? Where you just kill your own people, take your own self out? Because that's what they're doing.
Auto genocide, I guess.
I guess autocide.
Vegan.
Autocide. They're going to autocide themselves. But no,
Anyway,
it's not that I disagree with the observations and with the complaints. They're correct. There is a lot of Jewish organizations and Jewish-led institutions that are doing some serious fuck shit, no doubt. But Israel, as a concept, as a nation that exists and has existed for almost 100 years now, at the end of the day, they're just a country doing what countries do. They're just really good at it. That's the
they
issue.
are.
China does the same shit. We do the same shit. Look at all these leaks that came out about a decade ago, whatever it was, about how we literally influenced the French election directly with our spy networks and stuff in France, our supposed oldest ally, and we fucked up their elections. The
Oh no,
United
fuck
States
the
did.
French.
Yeah, well, I agree, but my point is, everybody does it, guys. Every single country, if you want to be a top level player, the way that game is played geopolitically is intelligence networks. Has been for a long time, really since after World War One, when they started to really buckle down on it and really push it. And then obviously World War Two had a big whole secret war between the intelligence agencies and whatever. And then you had the fuck was that on my foot? And then you have currently the Cold War. The Cold War was almost entirely an intelligence-based war, back and forth spy
I'm
games,
gonna
what
get some
have you.
coffee.
That's how geopolitics is war is waged in big 2026. Now, obviously, cyber war is a big deal too. It's huge, probably bigger than even that. But it's all part of the same shadow war strategy because real war is very, very expensive and very, very dangerous, and it can get out of hand very, very quickly. And or you get in situations like Russia and Ukraine, and it just becomes a whole shit show. Uh, this obsession with Israel isn't healthy for anybody. It's not healthy for the people who are pro it. It's not healthy for the people who are against it. That country is literally a tiny little blip. I've been there on the other side of the world, right? It's it should be insignificant, but we allow it to have so much significance because the United States has been bought and sold by foreign interests. Somebody said something about China earlier. Yeah, yes, the Israelis have their flags all throughout Congress. There's Israel flags at all these fucking Congress people's doors and in their offices and whatever, and that's some weird shit. Don't get me wrong, and it shouldn't be allowed. I agree. But don't get it twisted. The Chinese might not be as overt about it, but they're buying and selling them Congress people left and right. Look at McConnell's wife. Mitch McConnell's wife is some Chinese woman who's like 20, 30 years younger than him, I believe, who, as soon as he got sick, the reports came out. I don't know if it's true, but I could believe it. She was over in China talking to one of their vice presidents or whatever how they structure their shit over in China. That's interesting. How about that guy who got caught banging a Chinese spy, right? For years, was banging this Chinese spy. Who knows what he ended up giving her? All these Chinese so-called students who come here and just steal data and steal, research level technology and things like this. The Chinese are doing it too. And if you don't think for a hot minute the United States of America isn't doing it, you've lost your damn mind. In fact, we're probably the best at it. I know Mossad gets a lot of glaze because they're smaller and they're capable of doing the things that they're capable of, but nobody does it like the U.S. Has the reach, has the penetration into other countries where we're supposed to not be able to do that. Nobody does it like us. And I just the arguments against the nation state of Israel, especially from people who call themselves nationalists, boggle my mind. Because if anything, and a lot of the honest nationalists will just straight say this, by the way, if anything, you should want your country to be more like Israel, not less. Insofar as how it treats other countries, maybe not internally, maybe you want a more conservative environment internally, whatever. But the way it behaves outside to everybody else, yes, absolutely. Give me Israel's foreign policy for the United States. That would be great. If we could
It
treat
would be.
Mexicans the way they treat all their neighbors, that would be phenomenal. Because
Can I?
Mexico is a hostile state.
It is. Can I interject on the French?
Yes, do
Okay,
it
good.
always. Yeah.
A couple of months ago, I was at one of those meetings I got to go to, and some French guys tagged along with the Greeks, and
Uh-huh.
what a combination. Anyway, um, so seeing as I had the opportunity, I asked them a question, which I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this or not, but in France, if you go to a restaurant and you're a foreigner, of course, and you don't say bonjour, if you don't say good day to them, they will charge you extra money, right? It's the French, right?
Fucking
Uh,
frogs,
fucking
bro.
France did. But nevertheless, now I said this that I've seen this happen. I know this happens. And stuff. And they said, wait, yes,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, okay, so explain this to me there, Frenchie. If you find them for a rule that they have broken, but you don't tell them that you find them, how are they ever supposed to learn your rule? They were perplexed.
They don't care. Because fuck you, that's why.
Fuck you, that's why. Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, you want to hate on somebody? I mean, can we all just hate on France, please?
we can.
Just as a unit, as a nation,
Yeah.
as a country, as a world, as a species. Can we hate on the frog, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Eric. It's not my fault. I am
Chester, they
having
eat
to pay attention to
snails.
my coffee.
All right.
However, let's break that though, and please, Grimlock, read this because this actually is the only thing in this entire article that is actually true. And this is not
Oh,
from Mark Ruffalo. This is from our boy Matt McCloyne.
McLeod.
What am I
Expecto.
reading here?
You're reading.
I know I'm saying,
It's right here in front. It's on the disc. It's on the page. The foreign
uh,
money.
uh, our previous our previous reports and deadline, Paramount has disclosed that the total foreign ownership of the combined company would hit 49.5%, including 38.5% from sovereign wealth funds tied to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. Any foreign stake above 25% requires FCC approval, and the agency has been taking public comments on Paramount's petition.
Now,
Then there is Tencent.
yes. Now, Tencent, of course, is China, and the American military has seen that as a military arm of China. And actually, the Ellisons took the $1 billion that Tencent offered and gave it back and removed them because they couldn't make the deal with it. Now, this is
So,
an
but see,
interesting point that McLoin is making, but he's not taking it to the final conclusion, unfortunately, in this article.
well,
And it
the
also,
way the way the way it's being worded is kind of confusing though because he's
well, I'm going to
saying
explain it.
there's yeah, but I'm just saying maybe we're both thinking the same thing.
Well,
But it
we are.
says any foreign stake above 25%. But just the previous paragraph, he's saying that 30 that most of this is from three countries. So if you combine those three, are those three is unless they're stating they haven't stated the specific numbers, don't come out to 25%.
Yes, no, and that's the point. 11.5% are the Ellisons and whatever Jared Kushner's portion is. The 38.5% of the stake of this $111 billion is coming from three separate countries, and in no case does any of them rise above 25%. Therefore, it does not need FCC approval. Now,
Yeah,
uh,
and
Mark Ruffalo is trying
any
to
other
make this point, and he's either being obtuse or he's being obtuse.
well, the other part I was going to mention is for as long as I remember, the FCC is an appointed body that's only answers to the one who appointed it, which is the president. And from everything we know, Trump was on board with the Paramount merger from the get go. So going to the FCC would be a moot point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, it would be because Trump is 100% on board for. Ooh, my water's boiling. I'll be back in a second. I'll talk about Rob Bonta.
Rabonta! No, it's funny because they're fighting tooth and nail to stop this. And the only reason they are is because they're so afraid, like I said earlier, that their little cult is going to be invalidated. Not even directly attacked or criticized or in any way maligned. I think there might be some of that, but not to the level that their apocalyptic level thinking they have. It'll mostly just be invalidated. It'll be ignored. Uh, the reality is the vast majority of the world, including the Western world, cannot stand retarded wokeness. We don't like it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see it. It doesn't sell. And the one of the things that I always found very interesting and why I think economics is into, and I've said this before, economics isn't really about money. It's really not about
Yeah.
capital or even the economy. It's about people. Because all economics is the study of how money moves and how the market moves. And all the market is the desired and demonstrated interests of people. So if the market says we want to go this way, it'll go that way. And when you have all of these companies and all these people, and now you have Ruffalo, and there you probably see a bunch of other actors out here whining too, going at this merger as if it's some life or death apocalyptic event.
Yeah, and we
It's
know why.
because they know that their ridiculous progressive wokist Marxism is going to not be attacked necessarily. I think it will be a little bit. It'll just be invalidated. It'll be ignored and put where it belongs in a tiny little corner on tiny little projects, making tiny little bits of money, like it has for the last 5 years.
Yeah. Now, here's the meat of the conversation right here with old Mister Rob Bonta. Now, I there are many pictures I could chose. I chose this one because he's the keynote speaker at the API Legal Outreach Anniversary Gala. Diversity, equity, inclusion equals justice. California Attorney General Bra Bonta. Now, as soon as I saw this picture, instantly Better Call Saul came into my mind. Now,
Looks like a swindler, doesn't he?
now this jackass is a politician. He may well be a lawyer, and actually, he's not stupid. But uh, this guy is the one who's put the lawsuit out and got 12 other states to tie into it with him. And they're attacking them for the FCC petition, in particular what we just talked about. Now, we know it's all nonsense, and it's kind of important because this article covers it a little bit, but this next article really gets into it. Go ahead.
Paramount Warner Brothers merger settlement talks set for Monday, and Newsom breaks his silence. This guy, it's shocking watching somebody commit political seppuku in real time,
This
and it's
guy is
largely
a
over this.
scumbag.
He is
This
being completely eviscerated by not only his own party but by his own base
Yep.
because he's people are. I think honestly, it's just people are seeing through the weasel. Right, he's a fucking snake,
He is a
and
weasel.
people
He's
are seeing it.
cokehead weasel.
Yeah,
However, you got to understand there is a little bit to it, though. All right, and here's what it is. California has been bleeding money, just like New York, Oregon, Washington State, Chicago. They're bleeding money because their taxes are outrageous. Their policies are punitive to business, and
yep,
businesses are leaving in droves. So it's not only commercial tax that they're losing in the billions. This is the number, billions. They're also having just direct income tax payers who are millionaires and such leaving these places. They are hemorrhaging money, hemorrhaging it, right? And Newsom here will say whatever he has to say at whatever moment. He is a classic politician. There's not a single thought comes out of his head. What this guy wants is a good snort of coke and a whore. That's what he wants. And honestly, if
yep,
he was honest about that, I'd respect him, right?
yep.
However, here's the problem. Ellison is going to win this battle no matter what happens. They already got the deal, right? This is just what were they calling it? Using the law for politics. Well, there's a term
Uh,
that has been coined.
lawfare. That we look that we
Lawfare.
look for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lawfare. Thank you very much. It's all this is, and it's just wasting time. Nothing's going to come of it. He's probably looking for a payday, and he'll probably get it. However,
Well, it's funny because, like I said, he's killing his chances. Any chances he had at the presidency, he's killing it with this.
yeah, but I'm talking
Thank
about
God.
Bonta. I'm talking about Bonta. I haven't
Oh,
got
I
to
thought you were talking about
Newsom
Newsom.
yet. Now I'm going to get to him right now. But the problem Newsom has, because keep in mind, Bonta is the attorney general. Now you're like,
Right.
oh, it's like the top lawyer. No, that is an elected position, right? They
Yes.
are politicians. Now it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? The attorney general of a state or a government most certainly should be a interviewed job that can be fired, right? Can be
Top
removed.
level attorney as well is what they should be.
Yes, they should be the best lawyer in your state, actually.
A damn
Um,
wizard at it.
but I'm just saying, it's just like your chief of police, they are political positions. All right. And Bota
Right.
is up for reelection. And he want to make sure he get all those wokey votes in California. He also got to talk about how ICE is horrible and all that kind of stuff, so he can keep his seat and his money. And he's looking to squeeze Paramount, the Ellisons, for some back end money, and he'll probably get it. However, Newsom is the governor, right? And
Right.
he knows he's not stupid. Newsom is not an idiot. We've seen
I
idiots.
disagree with
No, he's not a genius. But this guy is not. He's savvy. This guy is savvy,
He's not
right?
an idiot. He just plays one on
that.
TV.
I'm just telling you, he does play one on TV, but he is savvy, unlike say a Justin Trudeau or Kamala Harris or what have you. This guy is savvy, Grimlock. I've listened to many interviews with him. This is not. This guy isn't like that. However, he knows he's not going to be president. He knows that, right? Um, but he wants to keep his hold on something, and of course, the governorship in California. And the simple fact of the matter is, Paramount Ellison basically said out loud, and to him privately, that's what he said, right? But we know Ellison said it out loud that, well, we might just have to take Paramount Studios and leave California completely and either go to Texas, Tennessee, or Georgia. And honestly, Georgia would be the best choice of those. However, so Newsom has basically been threatened, and they're hemorrhaging money like crazy anyway. So Newsom's in a situation where, you know, the last resort for him is just to keep his governorship, right? And
Hmm.
how do you do that? So yeah, he's been torn apart on the federal level, but in the state level, if he can keep a huge employer like Paramount in state, which I don't think he will, I think Ellison's going to pull out anyway. But that's his gamesmanship that he's up to. So he's pushing
Yep.
Bonta really hard to make a deal and get this done. The mayor of that stupid lady, well, I can't remember her name. The mayor of LA, she's pushing too because she's under the same pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure on Bonta to back up and just make this thing disappear, right? However,
Right.
like I said, Bonta is up for re-election, and he told them to kick rocks. So here we are. And in the end, it will go away because it's already been approved. There is no breach of FCC requirements. But I guarantee you that the Ellisons will probably, in some backroom deal, write him a check for a million or five and end the situation. I guarantee it. This both
Hmm.
the guys going to get paid, right? So that's the situation. That's what it is. Comments.
I'm snuggling my wife at the moment. Hang on.
Grimlock.
Um, yes, there is something Newsom can keep a hold of. His neck can keep a hold of the nearest news at the nearest,
He is a
and he can
scumbag.
keep that.
I'm not
Oh,
debating
He
that.
can
that
keep
was
that as long
perfect.
as he was. Um, now, look, between him, Karen Bass, and this obvious grifter over here, Puta,
Yeah, puta. Yeah.
um, he's they're looking to try to make a squeeze, knowing that they don't have nothing. Because, as has been mentioned numerous times, if this was Netflix, that you wouldn't have a problem with this. They certainly don't have a problem with the fact that Disney, who's also in their backyard, has made numerous deals within the last 2 years to where they have a sports monopoly. We're supposed you're talking about antitrust. You literally cannot have a single sports app that is not tied to ESPN.
Yeah. And Tencent, which was
You can't
mentioned,
watch your you can't,
they're literally an asset of the Chinese government, CCP, and they have stakes in all kind of American big business, including Tesla.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So no, I again, we all know why this is happening, and it's really pathetic that everybody's trying to pretend like it's anything other than that. Is that Ellison has a cordial relationship with Trump. If he was a member of the Trump derangement squad, this deal would have fucking got fat. They would have pushed this fucking deal up a fucking icy hill if that was the case. But because Ellison, like a lot of people, doesn't see Trump as the second coming of Hitler. No. So now it's a problem, and now they're trying to play a moral a moral grandstanding game, which is fucking pathetic. Because you're politicians, we know you have no fucking morals. Um, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When Americans get to the part where we start actually killing these people, then I'll start taking them seriously. Because y'all keep thinking you're voting your way out of this kind of nonsense, and we're not. we're going to be talking about this. If Chester still wants to be doing this shit 10 years from now, we'll still be talking about how fucked American politics are.
Oh, it always has been. It's kind of hotter now than it's been in a while, though. To be fair, I say we're kind of more like it was in the '60s or back during the MacArthur era. It's hot right now, that's for sure. But look at this chode. Look at this Rob Bonta. He can't even cross his arms properly. Chode. Oh, etymology. Did you know that is a Navajo word for penis?
He does kind of look like a dick, so yeah,
Yeah.
that checks out.
Well, I had to give my etymology for the day, and so I'm covered. I'm good. I feel better. Uh,
Chester coming up like the typewriter character from Sesame Street. No, 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 no. You know, Toad basically.
it means peanut. It also is used in slang by American teens to mean
All right,
loser.
I am back, gentlemen.
You
He's just
missed
like,
an
bye, bye,
etymological
bye.
moment. You missed out.
Oh, I'm devastated.
Yeah, yeah.
Be like, bye, my toads. No, 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 no.
Anyway, so that's the thing. In the end, all they're doing is trying to delay, just like the lawfare they've been doing against Trump. Every damn thing he does, they bring a lawsuit, even though they have no right to the lawsuit whatsoever, but it has to go through the process. Which I love all their things of No King's Day because Trump is the worst king acting leader I've ever seen. Every damn
Yeah.
thing that comes up, he goes through the process. Whereas the Biden, one of the things that bothered me most about the Biden and the Obama administration, to be fair, but especially the Biden, they side skirted the law constantly. They were
Yes.
doing unconstitutional shit left and right. Usually the Democrats will bend it or say, "Oh, I didn't see that." They'll do like that kind of shit. But under the Biden regime, they were
It was
just breaking the law 100%.
Yep.
But that's what this is. This is what's going on at Paramount. I have to say, Mr. Newsom, you should say thank you to your dentist. He's done a good job on your dentures there. But
Oh,
that's
those
a
are implants
that's
for
a
sure.
piece, by the way. That's a tooth cover.
You don't think that's implants?
It could be. It could be implants. Yeah. Why didn't he do the bottom though?
It's a good question,
Yeah.
especially since he definitely has the money.
He most certainly has the money. Well, the Newsoms are one of the five original founding families of California, right?
Yeah, super rich,
Yeah.
stupid rich.
Yeah.
No, this guy, I do love watching him in real time commit political seppuku on the national stage. He's dropped off dramatically in the odds markets of whether or not he'll even be their candidate now. He's done politically on a national stage. But what he might do, you said governor. I think he's going to pivot from governor to senator, to national senator,
He'll
or to
do
California,
something.
one of their senators, and he'll just
He'll do
ride that
something.
out for 40 years or however long he's got left in him.
Whatever. Yeah, you're probably there
Yeah,
might be some truth to that for sure. But another one of the five founding families of California, if you didn't know, were the Pelosi's
yeah, that's his aunt, I
cousin.
think,
Yeah.
cousin, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're related. But nevertheless, that's it. I just wanted to kind of cover what's going on with the legal stuff and the non-legal, because it's non-legal stuff, all the nonsense we've been seeing in the news around Newsom. And just, I use Mark Ruffalo as a kickoff of the conversation because, he's a moron. So
Yep,
there's
that's true.
that.
Yep,
Yeah.
no
that
argument
he
Anyway,
there.
is.
that was my serious conversation for the day. Shall we go into something more fun?
Let's see what we got. I did
Oh,
see this. I did see this. I'm gonna
yeah.
clap. I'm clapping. Hang on. Let's
Okay,
get some
let's clap.
claps in the chat here. Where's the claps at? Do we
Where's the
got
claps
claps? We
chat?
don't
We
have
want
claps.
claps
There's a
chat.
clap. Let's get some claps. That's beautiful. I love to see it. The problem that I am worried about, some people mentioned it. What are we going to get here? We don't know.
No,
Really,
we
we
do
don't.
know.
It
That's why I
is
have it up.
it is Disney, right? They still own all this. Um, it'll be very interesting to see what this pans out as because I don't think anybody wants to see crotchety old man Nicolas Cage playing Ben Gates. I don't think we want to see that at all. I think we'd much rather see him be Ben Gates. I don't care if he's a little older now. I think he still can.
No
I mean, for
problem.
crying out loud, they were doing Indiana Jones movies with freaking Harrison Ford.
Oh
So
no, for the Ben Gates character, he doesn't need to. His age is irrelevant. Yeah,
yeah, he can be. Yeah, exactly. He's not doing a lot of fighting, and he doesn't need any. That's none of that.
no,
So, and you could even have a character in there who does that for him,
sure,
right? Who's the guy?
sure.
Who's the bruiser or whatever? And I hope that this is good. The first two are two of the best movies of their era. Insofar as not like as films, just as movies. They're just fun. You turn them on, watch them. It just is what it is. It's like that. We don't get a lot of those anymore. They're very rare. Back in that late 2000s era, we had a whole bunch of them just machine gunning out every other week. It felt like,
Yeah,
and we haven't gotten a lot of those in the last decade or so. So I'm hoping that's what this is. It's a rewatchable, easy watch type movie with a little bit of intrigue in it, a little bit of cool, pseudo archaeological stuff. Uh, it's fun. Like the reason why Indiana Jones is fun is because it tickles your bone, your little mystery bone a little bit, right? That's why it's fun. And the same thing with this. It's just basically Indiana Jones, the same idea basically. And that line is "I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence" is iconic, right? Such
it
a great
is.
line. He delivers it perfectly because he delivers it with just the right amount of "What the hell did I just say?"
Yeah,
Like that's an
it
outrageous
is
thing to
great.
say.
National Treasure, of course, are fun. They did come out with something here not too long ago, which we covered on the show. Female-run TV show, which died instantly. Of course, it did.
Yeah.
Just mocking anything that has men in it that is successful. However, it has been basically 20 years since the Book of Secrets.
Yep.
And John Turteltaub has come out and said it actually is moving forward finally. Now,
Yep.
there are a few things to take in with this, though. First of all, the director and Hollywood and even Disney are okay, fine, let's do it, right? Because these movies did make money, right? Now,
Yep.
here's the problem they have. They don't have a yes from Mr. Cage.
That's right.
Now the problem
Yes.
we have with that is like, oh well, money. Nick likes money. He needs money. He's an idiot, so he needs more of that.
Mhm.
However, because he's on his what sixth or seventh marriage now, and he's this one's a
Yeah.
Japanese girl, so I hope he's having fun.
Still a drunk, so
It's absolute wild, crazy, insane. That Charlie Sheen talks about tiger blood, dude. This guy told
no,
you
no,
to hold his
no.
beer. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the problem. The last comment Nick Cage gave on this was a long time ago, and
That's right.
I will make it succinct and summarize his opinions.
Listen.
Disney, fuck no.
That's right. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, I
Yeah,
believe,
yeah.
was the general
The
tone
general
of it.
gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't bring out a National Treasure without Nick Cage.
No, it
You
won't work.
can't do it. All right.
That
So
won't work.
that's a huge problem. Now money talks, and like we said, Nick needs it.
Yep.
So who, he might be, they might be able to get him on board. And the fact that they're talking about it probably says that something is happening behind the scenes. Otherwise, they wouldn't say so. But here
Yep.
is the second shoe drop, the theme of the movie.
Mm.
Now, this guy in the interview, Turtletop, right, the director, he made a reference to something that happened years ago, whereas Congress had asked him to do a special viewing of National Treasure in the Congress. But there was a lot of argument on both sides, and the Republicans saying, damn Democrats can't do anything that's pro American, and the Democrats, of course, slinging whatever they can back at that. There was a lot of political turmoil over a simple viewing of a movie. And
Mhm.
he said that's the theme of the movie. Therefore, they are making a movie about the political fracturing in America between the Republicans and the Democrats.
Um, I'm gonna wait and see. And the reason being, I'm gonna wait and see, is because one, yes, Nick does need the money. Everybody knows that.
Everybody
But
knows that.
he's got a pretty steady paycheck now with Amazon. He does.
He
That
does, and
the
he did fix his big castle problems. He did fix that
yes,
big problem already.
and that Spider-Man Noir show uh, is got legs, right? It did
It's got
well.
legs. Yeah.
So he, as long as that keeps doing well, he has a very steady paycheck from Amazon, which is who you want to have a steady paycheck from right now is MGM Amazon. They're the big dog in the fight,
They are.
and so that's a good thing for him. So he might have enough to where he can just tell him to fuck off if one, the money isn't right, or two, the script is stupid. Because Nick's done that before
He
many
has.
times. He said, "No, I'm not interested. That script's stupid." And he's very, and in fact, he's not usually quiet about it. He'll just straight tell you, "Nah, the script sucked. I didn't want it. I didn't want to do it."
Yeah, I
Uh,
have a feeling Nick is quietly based.
he seems like it. He just,
Yeah.
I think, even so far, insofar as he's a very low tolerance for bullshit. Right? If it's bullshit, he's not doing it unless he needs the money. Right? He went on that decade excursion of just doing whatever they threw at him because the checks kept clearing, so he kept
Yeah,
doing
well,
it.
those castles are expensive.
Yeah, but like you said, he it seems like he's rounded that corner. He's back into at least less red, if not the black, and I would hope that he has enough wherewithal, and he does. He's Nick Cage to just tell them no if it's stupid and let them fall on their face, because without him, it simply will not work. Now, if you want to do a movie because he is older, where you want him to pass the lead role torch, right? A son or a daughter,
You
whatever.
could do
As
that.
long as you do it well, and there is ways to do it well, while still including him, and he could take over his dad's role, right? John Voight's role from the first one. Or is he in the second one too? I can't remember. Uh, that could be okay if it's done well, right? There is a way to do that. We've seen it done well recently. Like a good example is Maverick. Top Gun Maverick did that very well. Had an older character as the main character, but also obviously he was grooming, these other guys to kind of take the lead. Uh, and so far, nothing's really come of that, which is a shame. But he said it was set up for that, right? That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. And it can be done well. And I think if Turtle Top made the first two movies, they're really good. The first one I think is a little better than the second one personally, but that's usually the case. And as long as the script, you can even touch on that division in America, because one of the great things about National Treasure is it's a very nationalistic movie. It's very pro-America, right? It's pro the mythology of America, with the founders and this secret treasure that they hid, and they put it on the Jefferson put
A
it on the
bunch of
back of the
Masons and
Declaration, and
Rosicrucians, I wouldn't put it past them anyway.
yeah, yeah, you have all that stuff in there. Yeah, probably you have all that stuff in there. There's some weird stuff out in Minnesota, uh, and but the overall tone is very pro America. You even have his love interest is a German, immigrant who is deeply in love with American history, and she's beautiful as well. That'd be nice if we could get another one of them in a movie, please. Beautiful woman. Uh, and it's just the overall tone of that first movie, especially. I'm trying to remember the second one, but the first movie is very, very, very rah rah. America's cool. That's it. Not that America's better than anybody else. Just America's really fucking cool, and we're gonna play around with American history a little bit and see what we can do.
Yeah, it was fun.
And that's what that first movie is. And it's very fun. And I think as long as they keep it that same tone, they can touch on that. They could actually, it could be a I don't think it's going to work because the American people are done with each other. But it could be one of those things where they're trying genuinely to bring a united front, right? As long as they're not mean spirited to anybody, which none of those movies have ever been mean spirited to anybody who wasn't just a complete asshole. Um, I think it could be okay. So we'll just see. I'm going to give he's earned enough grace, especially if he can make this happen, especially if they can get old Nicky Poo on board,
Yeah, if
Mr.
Nick
Cage
agrees
himself.
to it, I'll watch it. Because if you
Yeah,
get
if
him
Nick's
on
in, I'm
board,
watching it. I
yeah,
agree with you. Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep,
yeah.
yep. We'll
But
see. I hope it's good.
I have a picture up here,
Look at him.
and uh, if you want to understand, because a lot of people they've hid Nick Cage's wild streak really well,
Yeah,
but he's probably one of the worst of that young group when they were young. But if you want to understand him, Charlie Sheen, Johnny Depp, those boys, they were all devotees of Thompson here, Hunter S.
yes,
Thompson, right?
that's him.
That's who that guy is. If you want to understand how they're thinking and how absolute deviant that they are, go take a deep dive into this guy because holy shit,
Yep.
right? People talk about Goering, and they talk about Anton LaVey and all of these people and the weird shit they get up to. This guy told them to hold their beer all century long,
Yep.
right? Hunter S. Thompson. If you want to understand where that group is coming, because they were like, I'd say almost cult members of his, right?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
bad dude right there. That's a real bad dude. The shit he's gotten away with is ridiculous. And I don't even know how he got away with it, but he did. Anyway, if you're interested in a deep dive, Hunter S. Thompson. So,
Yep.
but
It's
that's
interesting.
enough on that. I thought that that was possibly cool. Now, next, go ahead.
X-Men cast signed for multiple Marvel movies. Storm is in Black Panther 3. Uh-oh.
Oh Lord.
All right. Now it makes sense. We know it makes sense. She'd be in that. However, this is the girl. So let's take. We finally got Storm. We found this
Yep.
is our second one, but hopefully she'll play a more forward part than the last one we saw. Who was I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know she had a line. But this
She didn't
is
have
your
many.
new Storm. So I'm gonna leave because I'm gonna leave it to you guys, particularly the Grimlocks, because I don't have opinions because I don't know. What do you guys think of this girl?
She's a good on the skinny side.
She's very
She
skinny,
would she would benefit greatly from
hamburger.
adding on about 15 pounds.
Is she pretty though? Does she have the presence for Storm?
She's pretty.
Probably,
Um,
probably, not, but I mean, at some
Why do
point,
all the black girls look the same that they hire recently?
because Hollywood is racist as fuck, and everybody tries to pretend like it's not a thing.
yep, that's true.
These pictures down here are even a better example. They all have that same look. Now, for me, this is a very unattractive girl. It kind of looks like a boy in a dress, for me,
That one right there in the middle for sure. Yeah, that's
especially.
very boyish
But it
angle she's
just
got
looks
going
like
there.
a boy in a dress. Just don't look at the hair, look at the face. It's very masculine. So it's not a very pretty girl. And
The one up
Ma,
there, though, yeah, that one right there with this big smile, I think she looks pretty there. Uh, the
eh,
problem I think you're going to have is Storm is incredibly hard to cast because, like you said, does she have the word is gravitas? Does
yeah,
she have that? Because Storm is I mean, pun intended, is a force,
she's a
right? She's not.
goddess. Yes,
Yeah, she's not someone to fuck around with, and I don't think I'll say this by her appearance, she's pretty enough that they can get over the line the rest of the way as long as her performance can as well. You see what I'm saying? Like she's the baseline is there enough. Good hair, good makeup can get her from point A to point B.
Oh, the video's on
I would
Twitter
have
already.
I would have preferred they went with somebody with a little bit more maturity in their
well,
build and
she has
in
no
everything.
experience as an actress whatsoever. She's been
Yes,
in two music video shorts. That's it.
I have a sneaking suspicion, Chester, a very sneaking suspicion that Storm's going to have a very small part in these
I
movies.
think so, just like the last one, therefore it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
But you see, because in my head, I'm like, and you guys tell me what you think. I actually do defend this. I understand that comic book artists draw beautiful things. I get that.
yeah,
But in my personal opinion, in canon, there's only a few women and men who need to be attractive, right? And in
mhm,
canon, Rogue being one of those. We've covered this before.
yep.
Storm, I guess, technically doesn't have to be beautiful, but I
She should
think
have
she could be
a
Um,
beautiful.
if you're gonna talk about the comics, there's only two. There's only one other woman who's been as fought over as much as her, and that's Sue Storm. So
It's true.
yeah, you kind of do. I mean, when you've had you know Forge, you've had I mean Logan and T'Challa in the original lead up to their bullshit marriage almost went to fucking blows over her. So
Yep.
Dracula, remember also the story in the '80s of Dracula trying to make her a bride. Doom has tried to make her his
Yeah.
bride.
Well,
So
why people? What are you talking about Sue Storm? She's married to Reed Richards. Done.
yes, but
Well,
how many times is Namor damn near was threatening to fucking sink New York over her?
Yeah.
yeah,
Maple Chic is
I think
accusing me of something I'm not quite sure about.
I think Storm's beauty needs to be the kind that, what's the right term for it? She needs an almost ethereal beauty. And what I mean by that is it's not something she works for consciously. It just
It's
comes
just
out of her because it's her presence, it's the way she carries herself. And obviously she's also needs to be, somewhat pretty. I think in order for the character, one of the reasons why we haven't had a really, really good Storm, and the one that we got closest was Halle Berry, but they didn't give her anything to do, not a damn thing, uh, is because they've never really leaned. They don't want, for whatever reason, and I would love to know. I'd love to get in the brain of Hollywood and ask them this question: why the shit don't you like Storm? What is the
Yeah.
issue? Because
Well,
he's
and
like
we
the
know they could
third
do it.
most popular X-Man there is, and for some reason you just will not take her seriously. And it looks like yet again they've decided she's going to be at most a side C character because
Yeah.
they've hired
I
somebody who
can
has absolutely no experience at all for this level of a character. Which anybody who knows anything about X-Men, Storm's like QB2, right? She's number three. Like you got Charles, Wolverine, and then Storm is kind of like the order of importance to this group. And really, Wolverine probably first when you talk about sales, but you know what I mean. So it's very strange how she's always put on the back burner, or in some way not given any kind of focal point. When, in my opinion, the best runs the X Men ever had, she was one of the focal points. I don't
No,
know.
no.
I have a real simple theory for this. It's real simple, but it makes all the sense in the world. Storm gained her popularity by being a black character who wasn't driven by racial grievances.
Not at all.
That's probably
Although
it.
they did try to black her up here
It wasn't
recently, but you're right.
yeah recently, but we're talking about the era that made her popular. That period between '75 and '93, where you know Wayne Cockrum, uh, Claremont, Byrne, and all of those names, they took Storm and they helped make Storm a character. Yes, she was black, but if you look at the stories she had, life death had nothing to do with her being black.
Right.
No, no.
The Asgardian Wars had nothing to do with her being black. The story with the Morlocks had almost nothing to do with her being black. Any significant story that she had played a role in, it had nothing to do with, oh, it's because you're black. No, and Storm has always picked. Once she understood what she was, which is being a mutant, that's been her people. That was, you know, because I know the tourists don't know this. That's what ended Black Panther and Storm's marriage. Was when the Avengers and the X Men was getting ready to go to blows, and T'Challa thought he was going to take the Avengers side, and she took the X Men side. And T'Challa got so pissed about it, he annulled the marriage.
Yeah, a little temper tantrum, a little tanty.
So,
A lot of tanties in Marvel Comics lately. You notice
Yeah,
that? A whole lot of their stories are just basically somebody's having a tanty.
yeah, yeah. Well, now we're
so
talking about
it's
Storm.
not surprised to be the people understand that.
Yeah, but now we see here with the lineup of actors that they're going to use in the movie, she's taller than all the girls, and she's almost as tall as and taller than some of the guys. So she is a
which
little.
makes
They're
sense.
all little, of course. She is a little teeny human, but I don't know. She has no
Well,
experience whatsoever. We have no idea if she's got any acting ability at all. And
I
so
heard
I
that
think Thundero
she,
sadly is right. We're not going to get anything out of her, that she's just a side character. The Rogue Girl we
well,
talked about, we think maybe it could be good. The Emma Frost could be great if she's got, once again, the gravitas. The Italian Jew boy Charles Xavier is weird,
Weird decision. Yeah, I
very
don't see
weird.
Charles. I look at him at
Seeing as
all.
he's a Jew, but
Yeah.
his name is Christopher Abbott, and Abbott is very much a Jew name, so you never know.
Yep.
Maybe he's
well,
just more
I
of the
could be
Semitic
wrong,
Jew.
but I heard somewhere that she had done theater work. Now, granted, that's not the same as being in movies, but
She has
that
no credits
would
at
be.
all, dude, for anything.
Yeah, I know, but I don't.
Yeah,
I
she's
don't
never
know
been
if
in front of the camera.
I don't know if IMDb counts theater work because I don't really follow their shit. So, I mean, do they?
I we'll
Do they
see.
count theater?
Well, all we could do is wait and see. It is weird choices. Cyclops just is a weird looking thing. Gay boy to play Cyclops. Okay, fine.
Yes,
Um,
and and yes, we should thank God every day they didn't cast Nosferatu as fucking Storm.
that is true. We should be thankful for that.
Uh,
And the
yeah,
more I think of it after watching that Spider-Man movie, the least I like this choice for Jean Grey.
not a fan of it
And
either. Yeah. Well, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I love it because I don't like Jean Grey. I'm an
and
old school Jean Grey hater. That bitch is a trifling hoe out here flirting with
and,
Wolverine. Get out of here, slut.
and it could have been worse. Like, it could have been worse. They could have cast Zendaya as Storm too. Because it's like, why not just have Zendaya play every black character?
Yeah, she just
No, she's not
awakens a
really black,
mutation in
right?
Storm. Just randomly, she's just Storm now. I'm Storm now. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, anyway, so
I'm
uh,
gonna give it a chance. For the most part, the X-Men movies have been watchable to good to really good, depending on if you consider like Logan and the Wolverine movies, X-Men
oh,
movies.
Logan is excellent,
Uh, yeah.
100%.
So I really like the first X-Men movie. I think it's really good. I think it's a really good movie. Uh, so I'm gonna give it a chance because X-Men is an easy one to get right and an easy one to get wrong. So they got about a 50-50 on this one. It shouldn't be hard. This should be an easy one to do, but we'll see what they do. Because honestly, Brand New Day, most of that movie, even though it was mostly Sony, right? Marvel's just on the credits because they have to be. Most of that movie was really good. It was that last 30%, not even 30%, I'd say like 15%
Yeah,
with Jean
ten
Grey in
fifteen,
it.
the very end of it, because they
Yeah,
were
that
forced to make
it fell
changes.
apart.
It's quite
Yeah, it
clear.
just fell apart. But
Disney
up to
forced
that point,
changes on them.
it was up there with any of the other Spider-Men besides the top tier ones.
When
So
Yeah, when he's running around as Spider-Man, it's great.
yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So they can do it, right? We know they still can do it. They can still put out good superhero content for us. I'm gonna wait and see. We'll see what this, we'll see what X Men ends up being. It's pretty clear that they're heading towards Dark Phoenix, but they're actually going to build towards this time, hopefully. So maybe that'll end up good because the Phoenix stuff is good if they would just fucking do it and not fuck around and not try to end around and rush to it. Let it build, let it build, let it build, and then deal with the Phoenix. Um, so hopefully it'll end up good, but it's really going to come down to now we've seen who they cast. For the most part, it's okay. It's not great. It's not perfect by any stretch. But the honestly, to me, the weirdest one besides this girl who has no credentials is the weird brown-ish Italian Charles Xavier.
It's weird, yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
weird decision. We'll see what he can do with it, but it's not as offensive as it could have been. He's one of the good things about hiring kind of no names is they're no names, right? We don't know what they could do yet. So same thing with the original X-Men movie. back in the day, you had Wolverine and Hugh Jackman. Nobody saw that coming. I don't care who you were. Nobody saw him doing that well. It was considered a terrible casting before the movie came out. So we'll see.
That's true. And Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark as well. However,
Yep.
let us keep
So,
in mind, is this girl a blackety black? Is she one of them? Right? Because
who knows?
she
Probably.
did go to University of Michigan. She majored in and got a bachelor's in fine arts, right? Which is
Mhm.
shit. And she debuted in Broadway by playing Juliet Capulet. Yeah, it's the most
Interesting.
Italian girl I've ever seen in my life, right there.
Yeah. Well, here's the issue. Ann Arbor. She's from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ann Arbor is one of those weird places. This literally could go either way, right? Michigan is a weird state. It is. It's a really weird place. So this could go either way with her. She could be completely normal and not obsessed with it and just really likes to act. And apparently she's good enough to get their attention. So, I mean, think about this for a second. This is billion-dollar franchises that they just swooped her up like she's being drafted from high school ball, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, they just swooping her in. So either she gives one a hell of a blowjob, or she's a good actress. And I guess we're just going to find out. But I think, unfortunately, it won't matter. I think her role is going to be extremely
It probably
minor.
will be.
I do.
Now, we discussed this the other stream in regards to Adam Driver. It looks like he is going to be Sinister and not Magneto, which I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But then again, if they're giving us the Claremont era Sinister, he would be
Mm.
great at that. If they're
Hmm.
giving us the modern Sinister, he would be horrible at that, or at least I don't want to see him do it, right?
We'll
Because
see.
keep in mind,
Nobody wants.
Sinister back in the day, he was sinister, right? You
Yeah.
know, as in the name, he was this mysterious figure that was dangerous. Now he's a gay dandy. Well, that's what
Like
they did to
everybody in
him.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Um, no, I hope we get Sinister. Mr. Sinister is, well, great when
if
he's done
done
well.
correctly. Yeah,
Yeah. He's one of those characters who's so well fleshed out that you shouldn't be able to fuck him up. But we'll see what they do. And I like Driver in the role. I like Driver in just about any role. The dude is a force of an actor. He genuinely is. Uh, and he seems like a genuinely good dude. Just a totally good guy. You've never heard any real problems about Adam Driver. He does his job and he does it very, very, very well. So
yeah,
if they're going to go with the tone that we would want from Sinister,
yeah.
Sinister, he can do it. He
He
can do
can.
it,
I
and we'll
think he
see what
can.
happens.
He does. He has chops. Um, and well, uh, you know, he saying that driver said he only wants to do kind of one-shot roles. Well, we know how Marvel is. Any villain that's introduced, they kill him in the same film.
Yeah,
So
so he gets one and done
he
anyway,
gets one
right?
done anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. Um, there were some other things I'll go through here and see if you guys want to talk about anything. This is, of course, the thing I was talking about with him, just different article. Ahsoka season 2 is bringing
Nobody.
Hayden Christensen in because no one is watching season 1. Okay, perfect. Um, he's looks like Hugh McGregor's out. Yeah. Alkalite also not at Disney D26 because it's a dead thing from the beginning. And The Mandalorian seems to be doing well. Winterman was 1 point from safe. Illuminated puts numbers on the cancellation. So we already talked about that. Daredevil, don't give a shit. But they pushed it really hard on Disney Plus for their D26. Sonic 4. Okay, sure. Um, the People versus Gorilla Grodd. Now, what this is, we don't need to go to the article. I'll tell you what this is offhand. This is James Gunn being pissy.
Hmm.
This won't get made because he's being shut down, but he's being pissy, and he's basically going to have a mockumentary about Gorilla Grodd being on trial in Metropolis Court, and he's going to have Jimmy Olsen covering it. And of course, we know Jimmy Olsen is an insert for James Gunn. So this is just, and he greenlit it. He's like, let's get it done. But this is James Gunn just being pissy. Um,
Yep.
it sounds like Ellison really loves what Matt Reeves is doing and wants more of it. Please. That's
What do
the
you think about an
first.
Arkham trilogy? That's
I
interesting.
would be all day for it, especially based on the game stuff. That could be a lot of fun. But
Hmm.
this is the first bit of confirmation, the first bit that we've had that isn't pro Schneider,
Mm.
right? Because all the hype around it is Schneider, but
Well,
Ellison
what's crazy
wants Reeves.
is the DCU, if we're going to call it that still, doesn't have a lot of wins, right? And DC in general doesn't have a lot of wins in their superhero stuff, or I
Nope.
mean Warner Brothers in general. But that one is. That one's got 2 wins under its belt, 2 huge wins, right? The Batman made a ton of money, and obviously the Penguin might be the best superhero content put to live action ever, ever. Um, and so we got 2 huge wins, knocked 2 things right out of the park. So what they want to do, I would imagine, is when they come in, they're looking at the scoreboard. All right, this works. We want more of that. Pump that. They don't care about everything else. All the failures, all the this, all the reasons. At this point, they're putting up so much money. They don't give a single shit about your excuses or your analytics as to why you failed. None of that matters to them. What matters to them is what didn't. Give the people more of that because they need to come out as soon as they take over with a big win, right? That's what they need. So I would be very surprised if that big win doesn't include Matt Reeves' Batman universe, whatever
Yeah,
you want to
because
call
it's
it.
great. Yeah, I want
Yeah,
more of it. Alan says the best thing at D26 was the Lego recreation of the Pirates of Caribbean ride, including the restaurant. Nice. Victorious
that's cool.
says that James Gunn won't greenlight any of that stuff. We know because he's jealous. Um, Now, this next thing also is the same vein. Margot Robbie won't commit to a Pirate 6 after 4 script. Bullshit. Margot Robbie knows right well that if they do anything, it's going to be with Johnny Depp. She knows this.
Yeah, it'll bomb hard
Yeah,
without him.
it's already, she knows it's done. And it would be stupid anyway.
Margot's a lot of things, but she's not an idiot. She knows how the business works.
No, she is a good little whore. Yes. Um,
Yeah,
Johnny Depp looks like the test screening for this is doing really well. I hated the trailer. I hated it.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny's playing Ebenezer Scrooge. I hated every minute of it. It was just wrong. It's just wrong. But then again, Johnny has done many roles that are just wrong when you see the trailer and then you watch it and you're like, oh, okay. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people give him a hard time for his Mad Hatter character in Alice. Dude, you can say whatever you want for those movies, but his part was great.
yes.
He's perfect for that kind of
I thought
role.
he was good as Sweeney Todd too.
Oh yeah, he was, even though that's an insufferable movie.
Yes,
And of course, there are a bunch of stuff about Spider-Man I didn't cover because we already know it's absolutely
he's the
throttling,
king. He is the
throttling
king.
the
It's
box office.
undisputed right
It
now.
is, and
Spider-Man is the king.
it might end up being the most money-making movie in history.
Yep,
It
awesome.
it might well.
You know what? I actually
It does
it was
deserve it
much
though.
shit as a film. Yes, as much shit as Tom Holland has gotten from us, including over the years. He seems like a good dude, so I'm happy for him because he does actually put a lot of effort into these movies, and you can't really fault him for
Well,
the fact that he's really small. That's not his
yeah, yeah.
fault.
Well, no, I don't think the problems with that movie have very little to do with him. Him
I think he's
demanding
great.
Zendaya stay in it when they made a clean cut
Yeah,
last movie, that's his fault, and that's stupid. He should know
yeah.
better. He should be a professional. So I'll blame him for that. But everything else has nothing to do with him whatsoever. He's not in charge,
No,
right?
he's
And
phenomenal in the film. Honestly, it's his best performance as Spider-Man. I think.
yeah, no, it's fine. But the thing with you have to keep in mind with that movie, the problems that movie has is Disney interference. That's the
Yes,
problem. They had an idea, and it would have been better, and it would have been probably 45 minutes or so shorter, because you could cut an hour out of that movie
easily.
easily, right? But nevertheless, it is cranking. And let's go take a look at the crank, shall we?
But we did get to see Spider-Man versus the Hulk, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was one of the best. That's the best scene in the movie as far as fight scene, action scenes. And the best dialogue and interaction is between "Let me tell you how I feel," Punisher, and Spidey. Um,
I,
he's
I
such a
like the
weird.
fight with the hand too at the end. I thought that was good. That was
It
clean.
was all right. It was out of place. It didn't belong there. However, the only good Punisher we've gotten was, and I can't remember his name. He just passed away too. Um, Punisher Warzone. That was the first real Punisher I've ever seen.
Yeah, they don't
It's a
ever
Because
good
give
one.
us the Punisher.
he didn't try to tell you how he felt. He didn't whine or just pontificate. He picked up a gun and shot people in the face.
Murdered. He did some murdering, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we did. Anyway,
Yeah.
Spider top of the box office again.
Click on
I
that.
don't even
Click
want to
on
look
that
at
real
it.
quick.
Holy shit,
Oh
dude!
my goodness gracious! Look at that. It's gonna break 1 billion domestic. I'm telling you, it's gonna.
It probably will. Um,
Yeah.
because it's got
It hasn't even been
legs.
out a month, bro. It hasn't even been out a
No,
month.
this third week.
That is
Not
insanity.
even half a month, really, if you look at the numbers.
Yeah, Ray
Um,
Stevenson. Yep, he got
yeah, Ray Stevenson. Yeah, dude, that is by far.
it. True.
Thank you very much, Victorious. I agree. It is not murder; it's punishment. But he was by far he got it. Ray Stevenson got that. It's too bad we lost him, man. I like that guy. He was nice.
No, he
Um,
was a good actor
Yeah,
for what he did.
well, I didn't really pay that much attention. My wife was watching a European salary movie with Gerard Butler in it called Outlaws. It was fine. I mean, European salary movies usually are a step above the American ones because, the Europeans actually want to be thespians, where the American
Yep.
actors just want to be famous. It literally is how you can, cut it out. We do have good actors, but you know what I mean. But it was fine. They look like they want to do a series of those, and I like Gerard Butler, although he's my age, but I look 20 years younger than him.
Yeah. Yeah, he has not aged well. He did
Too
not
much
do.
partying there, Mr. Butler, I think.
Yeah,
Too
he
much
beat him. He
alcohol.
beat himself up.
He did.
2.2 billion with a B
Yeah.
dollars
1.1
in
billion in
3 weeks.
pocket. Keep that in mind.
That's outrageous amounts of money.
Yeah.
So for one movie, and it's yeah, okay, it's a franchise movie. I get that, and it's Spider-Man, sure, but you have to understand this movie
That's crazy.
has done things that not even Star Wars movies could do. This movie has done things that not even Avengers movies did. That's insane,
It
and
is
it's
big
just off the back
complexity.
of old Spidey because
Yeah.
he is the king.
It shows you people do want movies, though. It shows you
Yeah.
this lies about Cindy being dead are just that. They're lies. People do
Well,
want
I
movies.
like what they want is they want an event. We don't want to just go to the movies,
Yeah.
pay 40 fucking dollars or whatever it is to watch some bullshit. We want to go and watch something cool, something that feels like a big deal, that has that. You know how like when you watch like a professional fight, and let's say it's not really a good card and it just doesn't ever have that feeling, but then you watch some superstar motherfuckers fight, and you're like, holy shit, that energy, even just watching it through the screen, that's what we want the movie to feel like. And this is what people have been starving for, I would say, since Top Gun Maverick, right? Because Maverick had that kind of feel to it. This has it even more so. Even if the movie itself doesn't necessarily deserve it, Maverick is a much better movie than this movie. But the feel is what people are chasing, and whether anybody likes it or not, it's undeniable now that Tom and his wife are the king and queen of the box office. They just are. It's just reality. I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah. No, it's 100% true. And yeah, no, an event is a fun thing. I remember Force Awakens. That was one of the biggest hype movies I've ever seen. Now, of course, it was a dud. It wasn't a very good movie,
Yeah,
unfortunately. However, it was an event, and people are excited about it. Now,
yeah.
for me, I had a personal. This is more a personal experience to go with what you're saying. I went to the grand opening of Call the Conqueror in Hawaii, and it was a red carpet event, right? It was a big
Mm-hmm.
event, It's they were actually having talking to us in front of us in the theater. They had a lottery. It's where I won the lightsaber from the Empire Strikes Back, et cetera, et cetera. It was a huge, big event, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in a movie. And it was for Cull the fucking Conqueror, one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, it's
Although I
such a
love
bad
you,
movie.
Kevin. I love you.
We do
Uh,
love Kevin. That's not Kevin's fault that movie sucked. But that yeah, that movie's bad.
It is bad. But yeah, the hype is part of the fun. Anyway, Insidious came out, a new installment out of the further. They keep dropping these. If it were back in the day, it would be direct to video, is what it would be
Right.
now, by this point. But hey, it made 30 million in pocket.
Another
It's
win
not
for
as much
Sony.
money as
Look
the
at
Red
Sony
Door,
go.
though. Huh?
Look at Sony go, man. There's another big W. They
Yeah.
didn't put a lot of money into
No,
this
they
movie, I'm
spent hardly
sure.
any money on these. That's true.
Yeah.
And these make more money on the back end anyway.
Yep.
But so you got that. Let's see what the Odyssey's doing because I know they've been bitchy, so it must not be. Yeah, if they, how can you bitch about that, dude? I mean, how can you bitch about that? Bitching, they got freaking $700 million in pocket. You know they've made a couple of hundred million
Yep.
in pocket, maybe three, right? So this is a success, but they're whining and bitching. Why are they whining and bitching? Because some stupid spider thingy made more money. Oh, fuck off, dude.
And I hate the fact that that Odyssey movie's made that much money
It
for the
is what it is.
very sole reason that it's not the Odyssey. It's
No,
just
it's not.
not. Like he doesn't tell the story of the Odyssey. He changed basically the entire thematic
Because they're bad.
equation of the film, entire or the story entirely. It's, I mean, when you're half your story in an ancient Greek play or poem or epic, whatever you want to call it, is about atonement, which is something the Greeks didn't even. That wasn't a thing for them. Uh, you've lost the plot, sir. Regardless of the political maneuvering of the bullshit casting, you've lost the plot entirely. The point of the Odyssey has nothing to do. Odysseus isn't conflicted about his
No,
time in
he's
the
being
war.
punished by Athena
Yeah,
for his actions.
that's right. That's right. It's not about atonement.
The whole theme
Uh,
of the Odysseus or the Odyssey or Ulysses is very very simple. Don't fuck with the gods.
yes, that's right.
That's it.
Know your place.
Know your place. Yeah.
It's really, if it's anything, it's a warning against arrogance
Yeah.
and not atonement. He's not. This is
No, he's not
ridiculous.
atoning for anything. Uh,
No,
Go Paw Patrol. All
look at Paw
righty.
Patrol make that money. Get paid,
Right.
Paw Patrol.
Now, this movie is made some money. It's from Warner Brothers. It probably is still in the red, and it probably won't get into the black. However, I do have something to say about this movie. This is one of the most woke movies we've seen in a while. Now, I know that's saying a lot. We just had Supergirl,
That's some words.
right? But this movie is pure girl power, so much so that Bateman, who's playing the father, they actually make a joke in this movie. Well, why don't we just feed dad to it, the dinosaur?
Excellent.
That's how much they cuck him out in this movie. Do not watch this
Mm.
movie. This
More
is
hating
complete,
fathers.
absolute woke bullshit. And of course, it has what's her face there, Anne Hathaway in it. Of course,
Yeah.
Mutiny on the Bounty. No, no, this is Jason Statham movie. Aw, I wish he made more money with that, but he cranks these out for like $20. So you know, but they
Yeah,
actually, I'm surprised this didn't make more money, dude. They don't have an international number here because they've been doing serious promotion over in Britain for this movie. So much so that they had a big cargo barge going down the Thames through London with a giant paper mache version of Jason Statham sitting on top of it. I mean, gigantic, dude. Right? They're out of their damn mind. But they're so when we send the international for this pop, I think you'll see this probably pick up
Well,
50
it's
to
also
100
not in
million.
full release yet. It doesn't look like.
No,
That's only about
it's
half
not.
of theaters.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's still got a little wiggle room there. We'll see, but it's also Statham. He's not that guy, right? He's not. He's not the blockbuster guy.
No,
He's
he's
that.
constant. He's consistent. He makes
Yeah,
money
he's that nice
consistently.
constant. low level, makes good money for the studio,
Yeah,
real quick and easy type movies
sure. But you know
type
what we
guy.
need more of is the Beekeeper because that was excellent.
It was pretty good. The only problem I had with the Beekeeper is how absurd it is that the scamming people were all a bunch of fucking Americans. No, that would be Indians. Every
Chinese.
single one of them fuckers would be Indians or Chinese. It wouldn't be no bunch of random Americans in the middle of nowhere. Get out of here.
Yeah, but they have to keep up illusions. Anyway, but that will pick up. That'll definitely pick up. Um, Tony. Okay, made about the same money though, in only 6 theaters. All right, we're not getting the right theater count on that. There's no way. 19-year-old Anthony. Oh,
That's
this is
just a
about
well,
Anthony
no, fuck,
Bourdain.
yeah, that can't be.
We talked about it. Yeah, it's interesting. Fast and Furious re-release, whatever. Spa Weekend. Um, no, are they trying to braid? This is trying to make money like Bridesmaid is what it's trying to pick up on. Which I
Which is
never
good,
saw
a
that. You
good
guys
movie.
see that?
Yeah, you'd like it. It's really funny.
I would like Bridesmaid. Are you
Yes,
fucking? What are you smoking?
I promise you, you will laugh, especially at the part where she's shitting in a manhole. You will laugh. It's the only chick flick that's ever been made that was funny. They got one. They snuck one in under past the goalie, Chester.
All right.
And
This
it's about a woman who's a complete piece of shit. And at no point does the film, you know how modern films refuse to
right.
let a woman just be a piece of shit. No, no, she's a piece of shit. She just is. She's not nice. She's not a good person at all.
Fair enough. I shan't be watching it anyway. But the Magic Faraway Tree, I actually saw the trailer for this. And it hasn't released in many theaters. When it does fully release, I imagine this thing will probably make 150, $200 million. It's
Uh,
high-end CG movie. A lot of it, most of the main characters in it are actually CG or AI. Who knows? I mean, AI looks better than CG anyway. But it's just a very fanciful. It's like Spiderwick. Remember that
mm,
the family movie?
mm.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Could be fun.
What is the faraway tree thing? A lot
It's
of
just
stuff is doing
Fey
faraway trees
fantasy.
lately.
Yeah, I don't know. Hollywood is in their is in their Fey fantasy run, I guess.
Hmm.
Hot spot. All right. This
Hotspot.
As a private eye investigates a murder in a future world of sentient AIs, his identity and marriage suffers a hypnotic meltdown. How about no? Okay, all right. Never stop chasing. What are we chasing here? Didn't make no damn money. Oh, this is Storm Chasers. Okay, dumb. All right. We have Twister and Twisters. We don't need more. Thank you very much.
And they're both pretty good.
Yep, they're just stupid fun with the proper
Yep.
budget. Um, This made nothing, but it's only 5 theaters. Friends on a late night food run became trapped on an infinite highway with otherworldly terror. Oh, dude, that's been done how many times?
This is literally so you know how that Backrooms movie came out, right?
Yeah.
The Backrooms as a creepypasta on the internet has many different rooms, and one of the rooms is literally this. Just this.
Hmm.
So that's literally where they got this idea
Oh,
from.
dude,
I
this
guarantee
story
it.
has been done many times. Many of
Yeah.
the horror anthologies do the same thing. There's this never-ending road, or you drive out, you drive by the same restaurant or motel or
Yep.
something. This has been done so many times. One of the horror movies was in a motel where it did this. That was actually pretty good. It was an indie film, but I can't remember the name of it, but that actually was good. But yeah, that's an old trope. Alrighty then. Somebody's first film, it looks like. Learning to Fly. Why do all these movies sound gay? Okay.
Because they are.
And last but not least, the marching band. Hey, that made some money though, dude. Overseas, a world famous orchestra conductor discovers the brother he never knew he had, a school cafeteria worker who plays trombone in a local marching band. Actually, a slice of life movie, some from some European country. That might be fun.
Could be all
Some
right.
of those are good, yeah.
Huh.
So that's what we got. Very
Chester, I have,
Like
succinct.
a
I have
lot
a
of
completely random question. Just
Yeah,
because we were talking about that name of that movie, Learn to Fly. If you could have the superpower, you could pick one style of transportation superpower, like flight, super speed, whatever. What would you pick?
teleportation.
Yeah, see, that's why I know you're smart. Here's why. Here's why I would pick teleportation. Not just because obviously, you can do whatever you want. You can bamp in and out of places like Nightcrawler. But what happens if your power just fucks off while you're mid-flight? Well, you're dead. You're
Yeah.
done.
Well,
See
I
ya.
mean, flight would be fun, but no,
Yeah.
teleportation is the only
Well,
choice.
with teleportation, you could basically do that. Just teleport through the sky.
Yeah.
Feel the same
Especially
way.
if you have type of teleportation to let you bring shit with you, like people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Could be fun. Yep.
Grimlock, what's your answer, and why is it not teleportation?
it's kind of hard not to pick teleportation. Kind of
It's a good
hard.
one. It's a good one. Nightcrawler's cool.
And he's also very powerful combatant because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nightcrawler is a very good example of the quote that Thundero makes all the time. He
Mm,
has an amazing ability, but he also has trained himself to the nth degree.
that's
And
right.
one of the things I do love about a lot of comic book stories, some of them are highly trained, like Steve Rogers, but some of them rely on their power way too much, and it gets them in the thick sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't put the work in. Nightcrawler is a perfect example. He is highly trained, he understands the value of skill, and that combined with his natural teleportation abilities, damn.
I love me some Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and dude, to be fair, in comic books, when it's not being written by a bunch of assholes who hate comic books, um, they do get clever sometimes. You see some real
Mm.
clever use of powers, and I like that when I see them. Like, all right, good job. I saw what you did there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but Nightcrawler and his teleportation, there have been some very clever people do with his teleportation things you wouldn't have thought of. He's one of those characters that gets a lot of thinking when the people are writing them, and it's cool.
Right. Yeah. No, he's cool. I really like in the X-Men, the second X-Men movie, where he storms the White House. That was good. They did that
Yeah,
well.
I mean, it showed him off really well.
Yeah.
Maple Chic is stirring shit as usual. Damn Canadian. Grimlock's favorite transportation is cars for drive-bys. That's true. Are you a gang banger? Are you a secret gang banger, Grimlock?
Yeah.
Just say yes. That's the answer. You know, it's one of those things like your Ghostbusters. If someone asks you, "You're God," you say yes. Okay,
That's true. That is the
that
rule.
is true. That is the
That
rule.
is the rule. Yeah.
Now, Sheik, in all seriousness, how you all doing up there? Because Trump is kicking your ass. It's
It's
be
getting real Canadian.
it's getting a little bit. I'm actually starting to feel bad for them. I know I shouldn't, but Trump is really on those guys, man. He's not relenting at all. What do you mean Maple Chic isn't a Canadian? Of course he's Canadian.
Oh, he's very Canadian. He's
He's
hyper
like
Canadian.
I'd say he's from Ontario City, if there is such a thing.
Uh, he's not. He's actually about maybe 6 hours from me. I could drive up there and see him.
Oh
Six,
yeah, I
maybe
used to go
eight,
to
six
Canada
or
all the
eight.
time. I live right on the
Yeah.
border. I visit.
I'm not far, right? I'm in northern Ohio, so
Yeah,
just hop on over through Detroit, right through Windsor, and there we are.
yeah.
Hello, Canada. How you doing?
I always used to go through Niagara entrance,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
but I went and stayed in Oak Leaf a lot outside of Toronto. That's probably where I've
Sure.
been most. I went to Calgary for the Olympics, Winter Olympics. That was cool. Very different place. I felt like I was in Texas, although it was much
Yeah,
colder.
that's
But
right. Yeah, we need to
he
annex
says
that, make
Ottawa.
that North Texas.
So Ottawa's like the worst place, right? That's where all the assholes live, right?
Yeah, that's where he lives.
I was letting it simmer. What are you doing? Now we love. I do feel bad for you guys because Trump is relentless, dude. He's giving you shit. But to be fair, Trump laid out, all right, the Monroe Act or that weird thing they did, the Monroe Act, it's done. We're going back to normal business. what is it, 10%, 15%, whatever the tariff is. That's what we're doing. You guys can charge the same. That's what we're doing. Every country on the planet was like, okay, except for China and Canada. And China, he wants dead anyway. But Canada, boy, he's laying into it. And the Canadians just won't back up. And the thing is, I know it's not all Canadians, but all the politicians and a lot of people who have an opinion and speak it on the internet, interwebs, they are so arrogant. They think Canada is powerful and important. And, no disrespect, Maple Shake, but you guys haven't even,
Hurt.
most of your cities weren't even built by you. They were built by
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't
So,
understand the arrogance. Most countries in the world know their place. I mean, there is only one superpower, good or
that's
bad.
right.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but there's only one. And very few countries have any push beyond that. Most have none at all. And that includes Canada. Canada has zero
And
push. So what are they doing? They're showing their ass elbows up shit. It's like, what are you doing? Do you really believe you can economically go head to head with America? Do you think you have military might? It's like, what are you doing, Canada? It's shocking because
they're
you know,
I would say it's mostly just political showmanship
yeah, I know it's not all
because
Canadians. I know it's the assholes
no,
that
no.
are
What I'm
making
saying
the noise. I get that.
is the Canadian elite, we'll call them, as for lack of a better word,
They do.
have for well over a decade, almost 2 decades now, done nothing but disparage and destroy Canada and
Oh
the
yeah,
Canadian people,
yeah.
and they genuinely hate them. So all this is political showmanship because they absolutely all know that, right? Any of them with any sense, which there has to be at least one, right? Absolutely knows that their position is completely untenable. If Trump wanted to, he could take Canada in 3 months. Probably wouldn't even take that long.
Yeah, but do we
And there's
want it though?
not a damn thing they could do about it. Uh, no, we don't. We don't want to do that. Which personally, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The fact that the United States of America has these two large neighbors and we haven't annexed them is a testament to the grace that is the United States of America. Because any other world power anywhere near our level would have absolutely been doing that by now. It would have happened already.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and it's the only reason it hasn't is because they've largely stayed in their lane. And the Canadians are playing a very dangerous game. The only reason they can have any of this arrogance that they have, which mostly is undue, is because their neighbor, their big brother to the south, has done nothing but make them wealthy and safe
Yeah.
and everything you could want for well over 2 centuries now. Uh, there's no excuse for the way they behave other than it's kind of like when you have say you have a few siblings and one of the siblings is really really competent and successful and kicks ass, and then you get that other little dickhead brother who just is all arrogant and bragging like he did something when he's done nothing, right? Just
Yes.
mooch off. Like say you get the superstar athlete sibling and then you have the
Yeah.
dickhead sibling who's always talking that shit. That's
It's
that's who Canada is.
petulance. It's
Yeah.
petulance.
And
And
the reality of it is Trump isn't that guy, but I firmly believe America's about to have that guy very soon.
JD,
And
yeah.
when we have that guy, they're going to regret this in a way that they can't even understand.
Well,
I'm just telling you, they need to calm down.
they do need to
They,
calm down because the rhetoric is way out of control and they're hurting
yeah,
themselves. One of the big things I've heard of them say a lot is that Trump is trying to destroy their economy. Your economy was already fucked before Trump took office the first time,
that's right.
right? Canada has been having troubles for quite a while. It has, it's not America's fault. It's the bad management. There are certain, like Alberta, why do you think they want to leave? Just because it's trendy? No, because frickin'
Oh,
Ottawa is stealing all their shit and
yeah,
overtaxing them and not allowing them to actually prosper as they could because of all the regulation. Alberta's reasoning for wanting to leave are legitimate, right?
yeah. And
Um,
they're going to.
and they should, and they
Inevitable.
could easily become independent. Excuse me. Do all their business with America and do just fine.
I think what they will do if they're smart is they'll get their independence, ask for an American guarantee, which they'll get as long as Trump or JD or whoever's president, and then petition to become a state of
They
America,
might. They might. That
which
process will take
will
a
get
while,
speed
though.
run. Yeah, it does take a while, but you can speed run it a little bit, speed it up. It can take decades. Uh, and it's been a long time since anybody's done it, right,
It
in the country.
has.
So,
The 40s, wasn't
uh,
it? When the last one we brought in was the 40s or 50s, right?
I think 48 or 50. I think 48
Yeah.
was the last time, but I could be wrong. But regardless, that's what I think would be the best play for them because yeah, they could fund being independent, but their situation and position would be terrible. Right, they're locked right in the middle of two much larger countries. That's not a good position you want to be in. But it would be a lot better for them if they were part of us. It'd be a lot better for us if they were part of us because oil. We like that. Big
Sure.
fan of that thing. So I think that's the play, and I think it's largely inevitable. Once you
Maybe.
get I've said this before. Once you have a dissident population that has shown actual actionable steps to separation, to secession, there's not much you can do but direct oppression and hope you can break their spirit.
Which is what they're
And the
doing.
Canadians, yeah, they're trying. Well, they're trying, but they're going to have to go a lot harder
Yeah.
because these are a different breed of people. Those people are far more American than anybody else in most of Canada. So
That's true.
it's gonna be real hard to break that spirit. And I just think it's just like I said, like when we were talking about the American Revolution and the French getting a bunch of credit from a bunch of Europeans because they're retarded. Uh, no, that revolution was inevitable. Once you have that large of a dissident movement that has the ability, they're not just bitching about it, they're actually doing stuff.
Right.
You can't you're gonna lose. I mean, the Brits lost India for crying out loud, right? Like you're gonna lose eventually if you can't shut
They
that
lost
down.
everything, actually.
Yes, but largely it was just they left because they couldn't control it. They knew they couldn't. They lost too much authority and legitimacy,
Yeah.
and that's what's going to happen with Alberta, I think, and probably that whole strip all the way up to the
Maybe.
north.
I think once they flip, you'll see Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia all flip out in some
Yep.
similar way. However, um,
Join us. Come.
join us, yeah. Texas being ran it, but back in those days, those were all owned territory anyway, so there was an easy flip to state, so that doesn't count. Um,
Yeah.
Now, Victorious also says, I think Alberta should stay independent. So do I. Those poor truckers, 100%. Nevertheless, Grimlock, I got to get out of here. I got to go to work. Tell us, you got anything for the peoples?
Nah, enjoy your night. It's getting late. Go.
Yeah. And maybe you and I should have a stream just talking about New York, huh? It's one of those
Talking
places you
about when
love
it
to
didn't
hate,
start.
but you
Yeah.
hate to love.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those things,
Yeah.
dude. But
Checks
nevertheless,
out.
Thundero, take us out of here, man.
It checks out. Oh, it's been a fun little time here, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a fun little time. There's something we touched on it a little bit last week. I want to hit it with this one right now, real quick. A lot of people have this. We were just talking about Canadian arrogance. Americans are arrogant too. Everybody's a little bit arrogant. But that arrogance has a limit to it. And one thing that everybody should always remember, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much it sucks, your pain is not preeminent. Your suffering is not sacred. Let it go.
That's true. Namaste. Later, everybody.